Good morning for Monday Morning Motivation with Chris. My beautiful wife, Ash Taylor, is here.
Hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys
Monday.
It's Monday. I hope you are having a good Monday and not a Monday-y Monday.
Monday-y Monday.
Monday.
I know what that means.
I know what that means for sure. Yes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to have some fun today, and I think we're going to have an interesting conversation.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. I think the time change is whooping my butt a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like I'm overly tired. I just don't know what time it really is.
It feels weird.
It feels just a little weird, a little off. So I feel kind of rushed now in my mornings.
Right.
Like getting here by 10, I'm like, whew. Because I guess that would be 9. So,
yeah. Starting this at 10 feels to our bodies like it's 9 right now, and so getting up and making coffee, and then like sitting down and having to be upstairs and be ready to go for Monday morning motivation, it just feels like we're rushed.
Yeah, it's very interesting, but it's all good. But we'd love for you guys to comment down below. Make sure you can see us and hear us okay.
Yep.
If you don't mind, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I try to do this and it never picks it up, but when Chris does it, he always gets give it a second. See? Always. He has the magic thumb.
And that big old redneck thumb sticking out
I was going
there.
to say it's because your thumb is so big, probably.
Right.
It's like, how do you not miss that?
That's right.
But yeah, give us a thumbs up if you don't mind. It helps tell YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff just to, share the video with folks. But but happy Monday. So we had a really nice weekend. We're very productive all this week. We have so many things we've been working on, so we've worked really, really, really hard all week through. And then yesterday, Sunday, with the time change, we actually took the day off, and for the most part, and we actually went to church and just kind of hung out, ate some beef patties, rented a movie. It's kind of nice. Day. Yeah.
Good day. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you, and I think that this is a subject matter that is really, the more that we do these things that we're doing, the more this is really important to me. So if you guys saw the title of this, you saw it says, Why I'm Not a Real Carnivore. And we've talked about, some of the random things that we all see online in the Facebook groups and the comment sections, and the things where, there's a very strict outlook on how is the correct way to be a carnivore. And this also applies to keto as well, right? This applies to anything on the proper human diet, where there are people that have an idea of strictly, this is what that is, this is how you do it, this is how you have to do it, and if you don't do it the way I do it, and you don't do it the right way, right, you're going to end up somehow doing everything wrong, and it's going to fail, and it's all going to fall apart, and you're not good enough at it, and you're not doing it right, and it becomes a really judgmental thing.
Sure.
And I think the more we have done what we do, the more I have really come to realize that me being a not real carnivore is actually something really important in this space. Because there are a lot of people out there who are not real carnivores, right? And they're using animal-based products in everything that they eat, and trying to make recipes, whether it's like mine or their own or whatever. They're using these animal products to make all of this stuff because there are so many health benefits that they get from this. They're reducing the oxalates that they consume. They are adding in animal fat. They're getting extra protein. They're significantly cutting their carb content, whatever. And they may have some dairy. They might use some spices. Maybe occasionally they lean more ketovore and they throw onions in with their steak or into their whatever they're making. Or maybe they use a little tomato sauce because they enjoy that occasionally, or whatever. There's a lot of different ways that this might look, but I have really gotten a sense from a lot of people in the community that if they felt like talking about that openly, they are afraid of being ridiculed. They are afraid of being attacked. They are afraid of the judgment that may come because the way they're doing it is not strict enough to be considered that elite carnivore, whatever that thing is. Mm-hmm. A really good example of this, I put out this last week a recipe for keto cookies, keto cheesecake cookies, using some keto chow, which you don't have to use keto chow, you can do it another way, but we do a once a month video with the keto chow my box that we get, and I very rarely have keto chow. It's really more Ash that enjoys the keto chow because she's keto, right? And she sometimes she's carnivore depending on the week and depending on the meal, and then sometimes she's keto, and she kind of goes back and forth because we don't care about the label. We just care about feeling good. We care about our health.
I'm always meat-based.
Right.
But I float based on my body and my needs on the spectrum, let's look at that word.
Right, spectrum.
Of the proper human diet.
Right.
So I think labels sometimes can be something we get very caught up on, which is I think what you're trying to say there, right?
Yeah, it becomes very detrimental to your ability to do what is best for your body if you just do everything based on the label and not your body.
Yeah.
And not your own psychology and the things you're going through. And so Ash has keto chow more regularly than I do, which is why we do some of those things. But occasionally I'll come up with a recipe with keto chow and I'll have a couple of those keto chow cookies. Why? Because I don't get hung up on labels, and unless I think doing so is harming my health, there's no problem. It's not like I'm going down the street to Crumble Cookie and eating a box of cookies. Like that would be a real problem. That would really make me feel horrible, and it would probably flare up sugar cravings, and then for a day or two I'd want cookies, and it would be a whole thing. I'm not doing that. I'm eating these keto chow cookies as the occasional treat because I'm making them for Ash, or when I make her a keto chow shake. Sometimes I'll go ahead and have one myself. It's not a big deal. And I put out that video, and I actually had someone tell me they were unsubscribing because they were tired of all of my keto nonsense, because I claimed to be a carnivore, and that's why they subscribed, and they were tired of this. And look, the trash takes itself out sometimes, and that's great. It's wonderful when you don't have to be the one to do so. But one, I've never in any video I've ever made any claims about here's what I am label-wise that I will always be and that I will never change. I've never said I am a carnivore, I will always be a carnivore, I'm never going to have anything that's not carnivore, whatever. I've never said anything like that. The only thing I've ever said is 99% of the time, generally speaking, I eat a carnivore diet, and I eat the version that works for me. And that includes dairy from time to time. I still use spices. Occasionally, I lean more ketovore and throw some onions or peppers on something. Like, I do that kind of stuff. And when I make my recipes, I make sure you don't have to use any of the ingredients in there. You don't have the comfort of, yes, I want to include that in your diet. So if I put in a spice, leave the spice out if you don't want it, right? Like those kinds of things. I do that intentionally because I realize we all have different places we fall. And so that comment really got me thinking about this subject, and I was thinking about everything we have been doing with the people that we talk to, the people we interact with, the people who come to us. And you guys, I think, obviously you're not there, so you wouldn't know this, but you have to understand maybe from our perspective the kinds of things we see. Like, hi, my name is so-and-so. I can't do a diet like keto like you're doing, although I've been told it would be really good for me. I can't do it because here's the sexual trauma of my past. Like, that's the first 30 seconds of meeting somebody because they know you as the keto and carnivore people. And we're more than happy to have those conversations. Do you think someone who's been through something like that in the past cares about whether it's like strict carnivore or whether it's loose carnivore, or about keto chow cookies being somehow not what I claimed on my YouTube channel, whatever that means, right? Do you really think someone like that is that hung up on a label? People like that, they don't even know what keto and carnivore are. And so the thing that this really got me thinking about is, and I can tell you dozens more. I had somebody else who said, hey, I'm really interested in this whole binge eating, struggling with your mental health thing that you have fixed by being a carnivore, because I've been bulimic since I was a kid, and my family doesn't know. So I mean, that's a huge responsibility to have that information about somebody and want to help somebody. And I don't think that person cares about the strictness of my carnivore label and whether or not I occasionally enjoy a keto chow cookie. I don't think they care about the garlic powder on the steak. I don't think they care whether I'm using a splash of vinegar to make one of my bread products more fluffy in texture, right? Like we get so hung up on such granular things, we miss the people out there who really need help, who don't even contemplate that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Right? And there are things that we can do to help people that go so far beyond how strict of a carnivore can we be. And here's the thing. For people who are really super strict, and it's like, I do meat, I do salt, I do water, I do nothing else. I think that's great. If that makes you happy and that works for you and you're doing it, I think it's wonderful. I would never try to convince someone that they should stop being strict to come be more loosey-goosey like I am with like the seasonings or any of this kind of stuff. I'm not in any way trying to convince anyone that my way of doing it is the ultimate way of doing it. I'm a recipe creator. I'm not here to tell people you have to do it this way to fix your health. You have to do it that way. This way is wrong or that way is right. I'm not here to say any of that. People who are doctors who are far smarter than I am with those kinds of things, they can debate all of that. And, those resources already exist. I did a interview with Dr. Kiltz the other day. Mm-hmm. And the way that I put it on there, and I've said this before to you guys, I sort of see myself as the gateway drug to carnivore. Right? I get people off of standard American diet junk and eating keto and carnivore things that are better. And they're using recipes and having fun. And as they start to move away from standard American diet stuff, they can decide for themselves when they do or don't want to use a recipe. They can decide, do I feel like I need to start cutting back on my dairy for more health benefits? They can say, do I want to do strict meat, salt, water, and try to do an elimination diet to see if any of these spices are messing with me? They can go as far down that rabbit hole as they want, and I think that's really, really fantastic that they do that. But I don't think it's in any way my job to go find people and strong arm them into being a strict carnivore because I'm a strict carnivore. Mm-hmm. Or tell people you're doing keto wrong because you're not doing it the way I do. It's not my job to do that. My job is to be here and help people. This is what Ash and I do. We help people. And when you are talking with someone who is so broken, so struggling because of things in their past, and they are so inflamed with standard American diet junk and chemicals and seed oils and processed foods and things that we know are not good for us, okay? That is a major problem. And they're trying to deal with a lot of things, not just the things they're eating, but what's going on in their mind. And if you can get inflammation out of your body and out of your brain, it makes it a lot easier to start dealing with those things. So if you tell somebody you've got to deal with all of that stuff in your mind, and you need to give up all of these things, and you need to give up the idea of creating a recipe, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and by the way, if you don't do it right, I'm going to yell at you and beat you up for it, that doesn't help anybody. There's no reason as a human being that we should treat somebody else like that. But I see this happening a lot, and I've realized this is why it's important that we do what we do. Because I'm not here to promote you do my type of style of carnivore instead of this other stuff. I'm here to promote the idea that if you're trying to get off of the junk and you are really wishing you had a pizza and you don't think you can give up pizza, well, guess what? You can learn to make mine. And is it the cleanest thing out there? No. It's got dairy. It's got some spices, different things. Maybe if you put tomato sauce on it, now it's ketovore or keto instead of carnivore or whatever. But that's a whole heck of a lot better than going down the street to Domino's and throwing yourself into a spiral because you've been 6 weeks on a keto diet or a carnivore diet and you just couldn't take it anymore, or you ended up in a situation where your kids wanted pizza, your family was having a pizza night, whatever, and you thought, well, just one piece. And next thing you know, you've eaten an entire pizza, you wake up feeling terrible, and now because you've spiked your insulin with all of the carbs that come in a pizza crust and the sugar that's in the sauces when you buy them at the store or when you go out to a pizza place, because you've spiked your insulin and you've done all that, not only do you feel just horrible physically because your body is not ready to handle that, that huge jump like that. You're still in this healing process. Also, you feel like a failure because that was a bad pizza. Food does not have morality, but we all have this idea that that was a bad thing to do because that was a cheat meal, right? So you have that mental aspect of the whole thing. And then, because of the insulin spike, you very possibly are going to start having more cravings. And you're not necessarily set up to deal with those because of the mental issues and the physical issues and all of this. It makes it a lot harder to stand up to cravings. This is why people who are addicts of any kind, they tend to relapse. And oftentimes a relapse is actually considered an important part of their healing journey to get away from their addiction. This is something like Ash's mom works in addiction recovery. Therapists in addiction recovery talk about this. When you are trying to get off of something that is bad for you, and then you come back and you sort of, relapse and use again, that oftentimes is part of the process because you need to get clean. Then you go back in a moment of weakness and you realize how terrible it makes you feel. And it's not something I would encourage anyone to do by any means, but if it happens, you can't just beat yourself up and feel like you've somehow failed, because a lot of people go through that. And a lot of times that's an important part psychologically of the process of getting off that junk. So what I'm doing by creating recipes is creating tools that can help you, instead of relapsing, say, well, I'm going to use this as a tool that makes me feel like I get to partake in these things that are important to me, and then come right back without spiking my insulin super high, without feeling all of the negative effects the next day. And you may not feel 100% if you add some things in there you're not used to eating. If you're carnivore and you throw some tomato sauce on a pizza crust, it might mess with your stomach a little bit, like that happens. But that's way different. I can tell you from experience. That's way different than being carnivore, eating a whole Domino's pizza because you go off the rails like I did the first time we were on I was on carnivore and she was keto. And then you try to go back to it and it's like, I feel terrible. My stomach is all upset. My intestines are all messed up. I'm feeling like a failure. I'm craving everything I can think of. It goes completely out of control. I've been there. And so I have all of these recipes that I use as tools, and I'm sharing them. And so now I've realized I'm in this position where, because we have such a public channel where I do this stuff and I'm doing these recipes and I'm creating these things, there are people out there that need encouragement and support and help, and they need to feel like they're not a loser, they're not a waste, they're not a bad human, any of these things, just because they choose to use a carnivore recipe. The carnivore recipe is way better than the other things they could be doing. And so, I've really come to realize, I'm here to support all the people in the community that are already doing this, that already know keto and carnivore, and they're trying to be clean and they're trying to be strict. I'm here to support all those people. But I'm also here, and sometimes maybe even more so, I'm here for people who are trying to figure out how to get into this, who are just starting to learn what this is, who don't know anything about keto and carnivore, who don't think they can give up all of the stuff that they're eating, and they need encouragement and they need support and they need someone to say, you don't have to be perfect at this from the beginning. You don't have to go from eating the chips and the cookies and the cakes and the pies and the soda and everything today, and tomorrow go to steak, salt, water, and beat yourself up over the head if you have even the slightest thought of eating anything else. That's not how that works. That is not a one-day process. There are so many more things that it means to be human than just eating meat, salt, and water and saying, well, nutritionally I'm getting everything I need, so I'm good. That's not being a human being, right? We're not an animal that just eats instinctually. Animals can do that. Why? Because they're not human beings that they don't have the mental capacity to have the culture and the social things that go along with food. Why is food so important to the human race? Not only is it a resource we need to survive, but it's deeply ingrained in religious observances, in cultural things, in our social settings, in all this stuff. Now, whether that's right or wrong, I'm not here to discuss. You can decide for yourself if you think that's a good or bad thing. But whether you like that or not, whether you think it's okay or whether you think it's not okay, is irrelevant because it's a fact. That is the world we live in. And whether we want it to be that way or not, is regardless, we are in the midst of it. Doesn't matter how we want it to be. The truth is that's the way it is. So do we sit and harp on everyone about, well, it shouldn't be this way and it shouldn't be that way and I've got this figured out and you should do it like me? Or do we say, listen, regardless of what is or isn't ideal, here's where you are and here's realistically what you need to go to the next step. Because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like if someone would have beat me over the head with keto and carnivore not being done right, and it's this and it's that, and you're doing this wrong, and you're doing that wrong, and whatever, and I was like on day one, I probably wouldn't be doing it still.
Sure.
I would have been so put off, and I would have been such a, in my own head, I'm a failure when I fell off the rails the first time. When we did this and I was really struggling, I wouldn't have wanted to be a part of the community. I wouldn't have wanted to talk to anybody, tell anybody that. It wasn't an easy thing for me to look in the mirror and admit, you failed at this. You were doing really well, and then you went off the rails because you stopped really taking care of it. And I had to learn from that. I had to learn why that happened, and I had to figure out, well, how do I make this more stable? Because if you're not going to stick with it, you can't do it consistently, doesn't matter how strict you are, you're never going to get the benefits. So knowing how to take a step back from that, give myself some grace, and find the tools that helped me continue is how I got here. And if you guys want to understand, like, I don't ever want to go back to that, right? Like, I don't ever want to be that guy who looks miserable, and I mean, like, look at my face.
You look miserable.
I was miserable.
Yeah.
I was so miserable, right? And God bless my wife. We have a picture of her that is taken about the same time, and she has changed a whole lot too. And I'm a smart enough man to know you don't ever take a woman's pictures that she kept for her own documentation and start showing them publicly. But you can see a picture here with me with my shirt off, and Ash had a lot of extra weight that she's lost too.
I was going to say, not that picture, but I have one if you want to show that one.
Yeah, sure.
That was recent, but go ahead, please continue.
Yeah, no,
I'll
absolutely.
just airdrop it to you.
No, you're good. But this is the kind of thing, I don't ever want to be this guy again. Now, does this mean that I don't still have extra weight to lose? No, I absolutely still have extra weight to lose. I will lose that weight, and I'm going to work on it a little at a time, and I'm going to do what it takes to get healthy.
Yes.
But along the way, I have to make the journey sustainable. Because if I don't make it sustainable, well, then I'm going to go right back off the rails the way that I did the first time. And then at that point, what's the point?
Right.
What's the point of me being super strict and in focusing on the label of what is real carnivore if I don't stick to it and I just end up going back to the stuff that I know is harming me, right? Because eating too much dairy, it keeps me from losing weight. Maybe I may gain a few pounds, right? Cortisol levels going up affect that. There's all other kinds of things, sleep issues, whatever. There's 100 different reasons, but having a little too much dairy, sure. If I eat the spices, do I get maybe a little bit of some inflammation if I have something really spiced heavy? Like if we do Indian.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I have all those spices like Indian food, yeah, sure, I get a little inflammation. My intestines might not feel 100% the next day, next couple of days, whatever. That's fine. You know, I know that. And if I do that, that's an intentional choice. If I have keto chow cookies, do I feel like maybe that kind of throws me off the whole I'm on the carnivore weight loss train? Like maybe for a day or two. But I really don't think it's any big deal.
Right.
You know, now I'm not saying that that's the same for everybody else. Maybe for someone else, those keto chow cookies might be the first step down a path they shouldn't be on. That might be a major problem for someone else, and that's fine. You have to know all of these things individually, but this is the thing. How can you be a real carnivore if everybody has little things that are different, that are harder for them, that are something that they personally struggle with, but then somebody else doesn't struggle with?
Yeah.
Right? So if you are trying to be a quote-unquote real carnivore, well, that probably means something different for everybody, right? Like that can be totally different. So here's the before picture of Ash, and I mean, you can see your face and your neck and your chin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll let you finish, and then I was gonna say something about that, but yeah.
So, but how do you be a real carnivore when being a real carnivore is not a thing that's exactly the same for every person?
Sure.
Right? Or keto, or any of these things. Like when you find what works best for you, and you find how you feel good, and it's one step better today than it was yesterday, and you're moving towards better health, why would we beat somebody up because it's not being done hardcore enough?
Amen. Yeah.
Why would we do that? And I mean, I can tell you guys, like the punchline to the whole thing, the answer to that whole thing is because it's about your ego, not about helping that other person. And that's why Ash and I are here. Because there are people who, for their own ego, will tear people down and push them off path. And then there's people like us who, I'm not here to tear you down for anything. I'm here to help celebrate whatever successes you've had. And then if you're struggling and you go, man, I'm really struggling with this. Do you know anything about it? Sure, here's what I know about it. Or if I don't know anything about it, here's the 5 people I'd recommend you go ask. Because I've done that work to research. Like, if I really needed a question answered, where would I go? If I wanted to know how do I build muscle and how do I become explosively powerful while eating a carnivore diet, I'd reach out to Dr. Sean Baker.
Yeah.
The man is ripped. And he sets world records for his age group and all of the physical things that he does. It's amazing, right? If I was like, hey, Ash and I were trying to have kids. Don't get excited. We're not trying to have kids.
No.
But if we were trying to have kids and we were having a hard time, and I was like, how do we work on fertility issues? I'd go talk to Dr. Kiltz.
Right.
Right? If we had some medical thing that had something to do with, like, you know, my cholesterol, or I was worried about something with, like, you know, my labs or any of these kinds of things, I'd reach out to Dr. Barry. Right? For women's hormones and health type issues, Ash has talked with Nisha and a couple of the other coaches that are in the group. Like we know the places we would go to get these answers. So our job is not to tell everybody else how to do it. Our job is to do the best we can do, to put out good content that inspires people, for me to create recipes, and then give people tools that help them. And then if they ask questions, answer what we can. And if we can't, direct them to the people who know a lot more than we do about whatever subject that question is on. And all of us work to succeed together.
Right.
Together. If we faction ourselves off and we beat up people who aren't doing it as real carnivore or as good as we are, or whatever the case is, that's not about helping anybody. That's about your own ego. And it's kind of being a pretty trashy human being to other people.
Sure.
And there's no reason for it. So that comment, though, I just totally ignored the guy's comment. Like I said, the trash takes itself out, and he was like, I'm unsubscribing. And I'm like, great, that makes our lives easier. I don't care about that comment. What I care about is the fact that comment, it got me thinking about all of these people that we have, especially lately. Like, there's been a lot of new people on the channel lately, which I love. I'm so glad they're here. There are so many people who are more and more every day finding keto, finding carnivore, wanting to try this, realizing that their health is important and they need to fix it. So if we're not here to help those people, how do they find it? Right? If we're not here to give people the answers they're looking for and help them and be understanding and be kind as they're trying to learn what to do here, how are they supposed to know? Because all of us at one time didn't know. Someone was nice enough to answer our questions, create content that helped us. So how do we help other people with the same thing?
Right.
That's why Ash and I are here. And we've seen so many new people on the channel lately. We've had people in our own lives that are starting to hear about keto, hear about carnivore. They ask us these questions. They open up about their trauma, about the broken, dark things in their life they're trying to overcome. And they're looking at us as like a place of, hey, I'm trying to get this under control. This is what I struggle with. Can you help me? Well, now what if I looked at someone who was dealing with that and I said, well, you got to be steak, salt, and water, and you got to do this, and you got to be grass-fed, and I don't care if you don't make enough money. You just got to get over it, and you got to do it. And I know things are hard, and I know that you're going through all of this, but that's an excuse. You got to stop being lazy. You got to work on being a six-pack, and if you don't lose weight fast enough, you're not doing it right, and cut out the season. I mean, like, that's exhausting for me to think that I would have to do that. I can't imagine for someone who's still brand new to all of this. Mm-hmm. How frustratingly exhausting and honestly scary that would be.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we need to stop abusing people to feed our egos as a community.
Sure.
And we need to start supporting people and saying, here are tools that can help you, and let us work with you one step at a time. Mm-hmm. My desire to do that and my calling to help as many people and reach as many people as I can is why I'm not a real carnivore, because I don't believe that that's a thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You said you had something to say about this photo. I would love to.
If you would like to take it down for a second.
Would love, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I totally agree, though, with everything that you're saying this morning. I couldn't agree more. In my bold, blunt, honest way of doing things like I do.
Yes.
If being a real carnivore means being an asshole, then I don't want to be a real carnivore.
Right.
I think that's what it is. And I think, just really quickly, but I agree, like I said, with everything you said this morning. And great subject, something to talk about and be honest about. We've talked a bunch about this on the channel, but I think you have to really realize, like, what is your why? Like, whatever spectrum of the proper human diet that you find yourself landing on, that you feel your best, that works for you, at least right now in the moment. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, like, what is your why? So when we started keto and all that, I never had the intentions of being married to a YouTuber. I never had the intentions of being a keto carnivore person, if you will. But what I could not argue and what I could not deny was the impact that being on not just carnivore or keto, but the benefits of being on a proper human diet. And through the years, from where we first started to now, it is a spectrum, and we have experimented. And I don't know how many times I have heard Dr. Barry Nisha talk about, why do they say to do carnivore for 90 days? Mm-hmm. Why do you do that? Because it's an elimination diet. Mm-hmm. So I think everyone should start out with doing carnivore, BBBE, something of that sort, something stricter, if you can, for 90 days.
Dr. Barry is very open about medically.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe all people need to be carnivores.
Exactly.
There's no reason for that. He's like, some people need it.
Others maybe don't.
A lot of people don't.
Others maybe don't. So I think this is different, is my point, for every single person. Okay. So the proper human diet is a spectrum. I think you need to figure out what your why is, right? Why are you doing this? What are your goals, right, with this? Because it's not a diet. So, it's like, sure, you might lose weight, you might gain weight, who knows? But it's like, it's so much more than a diet. It's honestly a lifestyle, and it will, over time, it will affect every area of your life. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very eye-opening. It's very, it's a very exciting thing to do. And when you realize the benefits of it, it's hard not to get really evangelical and tell other people, because it's life-changing. So I think, though, you have to remember, it's like, so why does Dr. Barry Nisha preach that you're supposed to do basically carnivore, BBBE, for 90 days, right? It's an elimination diet. You reset your body. And then what you're supposed to do is slowly reintroduce things to see if they bother you or if they don't, right? So everyone's body's different. I can have something like broccoli. Doesn't really seem to faze me that much. Chris has it. No go. No go. No go.
Not good.
So I'm not going to beat Chris up, because it's like, oh my gosh, it's like you had broccoli, you're not a real carnivore. It doesn't work for him, so he doesn't eat it. No big deal. From time to time, if he maybe has a little something that, isn't that big of a deal, it works for his body. He's not beating me up because it's like, oh, well, she can have, broccoli and I can't. Mm-hmm. He doesn't tell me that I'm doing it wrong. So, because it's just whatever works for you and your body and your why.
Yep.
So, I think it's really cool, people that do meat, salt, water. I think that's totally awesome. Mm-hmm. I personally don't think I'm in a place where I could do that. I also, though, my body seems to do really well with certain veggies, not everything. I mean, I cut a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
And from time to time, we experiment. Like, we've tried, hey, what happens if we take out dairy? Hey, what happens if, we don't have coffee for 30 days? We have experimented with our own bodies at this point for going on 3 years.
And we still do it.
Because it's not a one and done. It's a journey. We're going to do this for the rest of our lives. And I think as you move forward in your journey, then there may be certain things that you need to tweak along the way. Our bodies change, especially being women, like hormonally. There's all these factors.
Usually as you get older, you get to where you can't handle things as well, and you probably have to cut more things out.
Yeah. So every person is different. They really are. Now, we understand grace, and like maybe someone, doesn't whatever. At the same time, it's not like Chris and I are telling you guys it's okay to go eat whatever the hell you want. Never once said that. Never once. We're trying to essentially give you tools to move you forward in a direction that gets you healthier and healthier and healthier over time, because that's what we have found sustainable for ourselves, for most of the people that we talk to, and I think a lot of you probably agree with that. So the other thing is, like, I think you've done a really great job explaining you and your channel and the viewpoint of like why you make these recipes and what you do, and that's awesome. And I'm very, very proud of my husband and the work that he does. I think for like you guys watching at home though, even if you don't have a YouTube channel, I think you guys may get a lot of this judgment and criticism in your own life. Or if you go into like, say, a carnivore, keto, low carb Facebook group, you get the people kind of beating you down and saying certain things. And for starters, I'm sorry that is the way that people are, but we
happens to us too.
Yeah, all the time. We cannot control the other people, and we are only responsible for our own actions. And so how I kind of feel about this whole thing and how my approach is basically like, why do you do a low carb diet? Let's not put labels on it, keto, carnivore, whatever. Why do you eat a proper human diet? Well, for one, I gained over 100 pounds in the course of 3 years. And so therefore, when I started eating this way, sure, I experienced a lot of weight loss. I've lost over 110 pounds doing keto. I, at one point, felt a lot of pressure when Chris's channel got really big to try carnivore, even though I felt like keto was working for me just fine and I didn't need to really change anything. I was kind of forced into trying carnivore for 30 days. And guess what? It didn't work really well for me.
Yeah.
And then I was...
First 2 weeks were great.
And then after that, I couldn't do it. Yeah. And so I stressed my body out, and I felt like such a failure. And then I went online, and we got so much hate because I couldn't do carnivore the way that I thought. Right. And we're going to go more into that later, but now we understand why. But all the weight that I lost when doing carnivore for those 30 days, I gained right back. I mean, it stressed my body out to no end. However, if I take off the label of I have to be carnivore, and if I just went back to doing what was good, and I started tweaking little things, and I started experimenting and figure out, okay, well, this didn't work for my body, and that's okay, so let's maybe look at something else. So I've broken a weight stall, whatever. So the point that I also wanted to make with the why, it's like, I necessarily don't really care if I ever lose any more weight. I'm about 30 pounds more to lose from what I would weigh in high school, which would be my skinniest ever. But what I really think is important to focus on is like, I have found what works for my body, and that's what I do. And that's what I would encourage you to do. I cannot tell you, don't do this, don't do that. I can help you, guide you, I can give you advice, but you need to go experiment with your own body and figure out what works for you. And if that's meat, salt, and water, and you go, man, this is what makes me feel good, awesome. Then I want to encourage you to do that. If you're like, hey, I really want to get started on this, but I need help breaking it down, that's my specialty. Like, let's dive in. But for me, my whole point and the way that I approach this is I really do not care about being a real carnivore. I personally don't even read the comments anymore, because if I give those people my time and my energy, then that's affecting me giving that time and energy to someone who really needs it. Like someone who walks up and says, I'm the heaviest I've ever been, but because of a sexual assault when I was a teenager, I am scared to go on this keto diet, even though I know it would be good for me. Because it's like, if I become attractive again, like that's a whole thing.
Right.
So I don't really care about the real carnivore people, and I know they don't like me either, and I don't like them, and I'm okay with that. But what I need to make sure that I'm doing, and this is what I think you guys should be asking yourself, is what is your why? So when I do keto, not only do I lose a bunch of weight, but I have mental clarity, right? I can think better. Currently right now, between my husband's YouTube channel and all these behind the scenes projects we're working on, and my music career, being a wife, I have a dog, I'm a big sister, I'm about to become an aunt. Like, I have people that rely on me and depend on me. So I need to work on being the best version of who I need to be to take care of my family. So I do not give a shit if someone thinks that I'm not a real carnivore because I had a keto chow cookie. I just don't. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be abrasive. I'm preaching the truth.
Yep.
Like, I just don't care because those people do not have a place to tell me what to do with my body. It's my body. You don't know how it works. You're not here in it. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know my story. You don't know my why. You don't know why I'm trying to do this. So maybe one day I'll get to the point where, I'm like, man, I just eat meat, salt, water. And maybe my body works that way. It does not work that way now. So a couple things, though, I wanted to point out. So if you want to actually throw this picture back up here, because I think this is also really telling. So I lost my first 100 pounds there on keto pretty quick. It was within about a year and a half or so is when I hit the first 100. And then I had we went off the rails, we did whatever.
Sure.
We've had our story. So I wanted to show this picture though. And I think despite all the weight loss and all the different things, I think that this picture, so this popped up on my Facebook memories the other day. And I can tell you right now what this picture's from. This is from 2 years ago. Right? So this was me on a keto diet, okay, 2 years ago. And I was losing weight still, but look at my face. Look at how much puffier my face is. I can tell on my wrist, my belly. Look at how my hair looks, right? It's not healthy by any way, shape, or form. I have a ton of makeup on in that photo. My skin does not look good. My teeth do not look white. Look at the bags under my eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
You were still not getting nearly enough sleep, and
no.
you were struggling back then with all that kind of stuff.
Oh, cortisol to the max.
Yeah.
Like, I was so stressed out. I was struggling with all of these different things. My hormones were crazy, crazy, crazy. So it was about not long after this, though, that someone told us that we should do the whole carnivore for 30 days. And I have pictures of that, too, that I can't find, but I'm going to go back and find them. But, my point, though, is, like, I kind of like stopped getting, my weight loss had really slowed at this point, and I was doing keto, but I'm like, man, I just got to trust the process. I just got to do my thing. And so for me, my why is like, okay, that was an improvement from where I first started on keto, right? We'll need to go back and find the old photos of like my standard American diet days, like way back in the day.
Yeah.
This is 2 years of improvement on the diet. And then now you see me today where it's like I literally have no makeup on this morning and I'm not awake, but look at how much healthier I am. And it's like, that's my why. Yeah. Because the girl in that photo could not keep up with the schedule that I keep today. And she was not being the best version of herself that would then take care of her family and be able to do all that God's called her to do and do the stuff. So I would encourage y'all to do an elimination diet if you haven't already. Don't let people beat you down because you're not a real carnivore. I'm not one either. Join the club. Welcome. We have keto chow cookies on this side. Yay, right? But it's like you guys need to just find your why and what motivates you. Yeah. And so another big thing is at this point in time, I was sneaking back in some alcohol from time to time, right? Alcohol is a no-go for me. I may have a keto chow cookie. That doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
I've tried. I've tested it on and off for years. A keto chow cookie is not going to make me fat. It's not going to fog up my brain. If it does that for you, that's cool. Alcohol is my number one thing. Cut it out. It's the best version of myself. And look at what I look like when I start to go off the rails and do certain things. So I look at pictures like this and I go, that's why I show up every day. This is why I eat a proper human diet, whatever spectrum of that I fall on. This is why I take care of myself. This is why I do things. And so I just want to encourage and motivate people, though, not to be brought down if you're told that you're not really doing something right or whatever, because those people have no place in your life. And when you give them that power in that place, it takes away from what you should be doing. And my whole thing now is I know what really upsets me and what takes me off. And I know the things that I need to improve on to be better at, which is what I'm trying to do daily. And it's like you need to find what works for you in the moment. That may change over time. What works for you? What makes it sustainable so you can just keep showing up every day and making progress and moving forward, because you do not get here overnight. You don't slap your fingers and boom, we're here. And I think you just need to guard your heart and guard your mind, because I think a lot of people want to really derail you simply because I think you're pointing out things that they don't like about themselves. And I think that's really the only true reason. But I think it's better to put your energy into your own health, your own well-being, and especially for those you love, be the best version you can be. So thanks for listening to why I don't give a shit if I'm a real carnivore. Straight up. I'm serious. I get so tired of talking about this. I get so tired of talking about this stuff, man. It's just like, come on.
It gets exhausting that the same kind of commentary just comes up again and again and again and again and again when all we're doing is trying to help people.
Yeah.
And the problem, and the only reason that I even go to the trouble of continuing to talk about it, like if we could just, everyone says, just ignore it. I get that, and I would love to just ignore it. The problem is when we just ignore it, other people who don't have the information that we do and the clarity of mind that we do end up getting swept into it. And, turning a blind eye to things that are harming other people makes you just as culpable for the blood of those people as the person who's doing it. And so I look at what I do with the channel that I have and the people that pay attention to what I say as a really big responsibility. And this isn't just about food. This isn't just about being a YouTuber and having people like and subscribe to my channel, although I appreciate that. And it's what helps pay our bills so we can have more time to do this. But it's at the end of the day, it's not about that. At the end of the day, this is about real people who are going through real things. And I think maybe that's why this stuff matters so much to me, because when we first started doing this, it was recipes, my own health journey, like all of this stuff, whatever. And as the channel kept growing and as people kept coming to us and talking about the things they're going through, this turned into like a mission field of people who are hurting, people who are struggling. And they're coming to us because they're looking for help wherever they can find it. And we're willing to listen. We're here to listen to them. And they don't necessarily have that anywhere else in their lives. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But for whatever reason, they feel comfortable talking to us and asking for help. And if I know someone is reaching out for help and I just snub my nose and turn around and I don't help them, well, that says an awful lot about me. I can't be that person. And so when I see this stuff, it's important to me to be an example of someone who doesn't treat you that way. Like, I've done meat, salt, water. I've done it. I'm perfectly capable of doing it. I don't find that it's as helpful because do I lose weight faster? Yes. But I also stress myself out and struggle with the fact that I can't do other things that are also important to me, like cook for people. Because, sure, you can go in the kitchen and you can make the greatest steak someone has ever eaten. That's fantastic. How many times can you do that before you're like, everyone in your life is like, don't go to Chris's house. All he's going to do is make a steak, and it's really good. I don't want steak. I do not want steak. Don't invite Chris out, because if you invite him to go somewhere, you got to go someplace they have steak, and he's going to ask for all these special things to be done to it. God forbid Chris go anywhere with it. Like I don't want people to feel that way about me. And if I choose to do those things for my own health, that's cool. That's great. But I don't want that to become a burden to everyone else around me. And so I find the ways that I do carnivore that matters for my own psychology, my own social situations, my culture, things that are important to me, because that's what makes it sustainable. That's what makes it to where I can do it consistently going forward. And so when I see people who are being harmed, people who are being mistreated, people who are being ridiculed and criticized and beaten down, and sometimes those people who like to do that to other people, they try to come after me with it too. And we all know the fireworks that can go on in the comment section when that happens. But for the most part now, I just delete all of that stuff. Like, we've been talking about the don't read your mail thing. I don't see very many of those comments. And even when I do, I generally just delete them. I deleted this one that I was talking about that led to this whole discussion today. But even though I'm not reading them, I still know they're out there. And I know other people are still seeing them. So although I may not want to tax my own brain with having to deal with the negativity of people, I still want to make sure to put out the support and the positivity to let other people know you don't have to be beaten down by this, and you don't have to focus on those comments either. And I'm going to be, to the best of my ability, a resource and an example of someone who goes through it too and doesn't have to listen to it. And I'm just going to keep creating the tools to help people. Because at the end of the day, why I'm not a real carnivore is because people already have plenty of examples online on YouTube of real carnivores. If they're really interested in the meat, salt, water version of carnivore, there's plenty of resources out there for that. Mm-hmm. There's already people doing that.
Yeah.
You know what there's not people out there doing? Creating carnivore biscuits.
I like biscuits.
Yeah. Carnivore biscuits are going to be coming Saturday for you guys. This is a 2-year project.
Yeah.
For me to finally get these right. I know there's other carnivore biscuit recipes out there. I just don't like them. This, as someone who used to own a bakery, mm-hmm. This recipe is fantastic. And there's different modifications. I'll talk about that in the video. You can do different things with this. But the basic concept of how I make these biscuits is stupidly good. Mm. This is the kind of thing, when I did carnivore the first time, would have made a huge difference for me. Mm. If I had realized I can do meat, salt, water as I want to, and then when I come back off meat, salt, water, I can use things like this and have fun in the kitchen. And if I feel like it's not worth doing the work of the recipe, great, then don't do the recipe. But if I do want to do the recipe, the option exists, and I don't have to feel like a failure because every once in a while I have carnivore biscuits and gravy.
Wait, so what you're saying is that you can do your elimination diet, and then you can make the recipe or not, or eat this or not, and do just whatever works for you?
What a concept.
Wow!
What a concept. And you know what? That doesn't make you any less of a real carnivore.
Right. And why would it? Because you're still on the spectrum of a proper human diet.
Yes.
It would be better to eat that biscuit, mm-hmm. which looks delicious, by the way, and I've tasted them.
Yes.
Oh, you all don't even know. Yes. But it's like, but you can go eat that
mm-hmm.
instead of going off the rails and having a real biscuit.
Right.
And you can keep yourself on track.
Right.
And then here's the thing. If you want to help other people, much like what they teach you when you get on the airplane, you have to be able to put your own mask on and help yourself and keep yourself stable and going before you can then go help someone else.
That's right. And you know what? The people that put their mask on and they're breathing the oxygen don't turn to the kid next to him and start punching him in the face and criticizing him for not putting a mask on. No.
Wow.
They help them put the mask on.
Wait, so they don't... Oh, man.
They don't judge them for not figuring out that oxygen is important, and they don't tell them you're not a real airplane passenger because you don't know how to breathe extra oxygen. They say, hey, let me help you.
Yeah. I think this is where a lot of my frustration with this whole real carnivore thing comes from. Mm-hmm. Is I graduated high school quite a while ago, and I don't really want to go back to high school. And I just don't think it really matters at the end of the day.
I agree.
That's that. But anyway,
I agree with you.
Are we going to say hello to some
We're
beautiful
going to say hello
people?
to a few people.
I want to say hello to some beautiful people.
Yeah, so first of all, Jeffrey Cox for the 1999 Super Chat. My brother, we thank you so much. Jeffrey is part of our private community,
Jeffrey's awesome.
Which is scrolling down there across the bottom of the screen. It's linked in the description box. We would love to have you guys be a part of the community because this is the kind of stuff where, as a community, we all stand together and support each other.
Absolutely.
That's why we have that community. So you can come in, you get extra recipes from time to time, you get direct access to Ash and I, other amazing people in that community.
Lots of great people.
Victor at Southern Keto is in there.
Yeah.
Dustin from Keto Simple is in there. Pastor Bob is in there. Like, all these guys that have keto and carnivore knowledge are in there, and we're working on getting more people in there too with like extra things they're going to do. So we're building it, and we want you guys to be a part of building it with us. So that's down there. Jeffrey is one of our like rock star members.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So I'll read his comment in a second, but Jeffrey is one of those people who's going out and helping people put on their mask. He is helping change. He works with patients. I don't know exactly what his title is, but he works with patients. And he does things like help them empty seed oils and junk out of their pantry and bring in like beef and low carb veggies into their fridge. And he gives them like, here's a list of, he sent me a picture the other day. Here's a list of all these YouTube channels that are medical things. And then here's Chris Cooking Nashville for the recipes, so that your family, your wife, your husband, your whoever who isn't really totally on board with this because it sounds weird, here's where they go for the recipes that make it work for them.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Jeff is changing the world one plate at a time.
Yeah.
What an amazing man. But I love this. He says, replay today because you don't hunt your gazelle and eat it raw with no salt. Oh, that's really fantastic. And he goes, if you really want to flex your spiritual chops, try loving on these types of narcissists. They are far more broken than the hopeless folks on the sad diet.
Yes, Jeffrey, you're very correct.
Smart man. Super supportive, just an amazing human being. I wish more people were like Jeff.
Me too.
If they were, the world would be a very different place.
Yep, very true.
And that's why we love Jeff. That's why we love everyone in our community, and that's why we're all standing together to try to do this together. Absolutely. Because we're trying to all be more like Jeff and help the world.
Yes.
Maggie, the substitute teacher, says everything works as long as it works for you.
Yeah, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie, so much for the super chat. And you guys make sure to subscribe to Maggie. Maggie's a great example. She does, sometimes it's keto or carnivore. Sometimes it's just gluten-free. Sometimes it's sugar-free. Sometimes it's more vegan types. Like, she experiments with all these different things, and it's not always about food. Sometimes it's about psychology and social interaction and family things. Like, she has a really cool channel. You guys should totally go check it out. She might have some info that just is entertaining or helpful for you in your life, but she's an amazing human being, and she's always been super supportive of this channel, and we love Maggie. She's fantastic. So you guys go subscribe to her, and she's totally right. As long as it works for you, everybody else needs to butt out.
There you go.
My brother Dustin from Keto Simple is here. Happy Monday. Love all three of you. Can't forget Mel. Dustin, we love you too, my brother.
Thank you, Dustin.
If you guys didn't know, Dustin, I believe, is very close to 6,000 subscribers.
Whoa,
He's within like 10 or maybe even less. So if you guys haven't yet, please go over to Keto Simple, subscribe. Let's get him over that 6,000 subscriber thing. I think he's going to do a giveaway when he hits 6,000.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So go over to Dustin's channel, subscribe to Keto Simple. He has some really cool videos where he takes all of these like keto products or different things he sees in the store, or even if it's like heavy cream or whatever. He really dives deep and investigates stuff, and he makes it simple to understand what's actually on the back of that label so you can decide if it's good for you or not.
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell you what you should or shouldn't do.
He just educates.
He just educates you and makes it simple so you can decide for yourself.
He's awesome.
What an amazing concept. Adam Hartman Maid is here. Hello, Adam. So good to see you, my friend. Says, God bless you for all you do. You've helped us all. Well, Adam, thank you. We appreciate that. We're doing our best to help people, and God bless you for supporting us, because without you guys supporting us, doing things like these super chats, we wouldn't be able to do this.
No.
This is truly a community working together kind of effort, and without you guys, we would be lost.
Way lost.
Way lost. I mean, not only just financially, because there's no way to do something like this full time unless you can pay your bills doing it, and you guys supporting is how we afford ingredients to cook recipes and the kitchen gear it takes to do this, and the stuff it takes to edit videos. Like, I couldn't do all of that without you guys, but we wouldn't even be able to be as stable as we are on our diet without you guys, because there's days that I struggle too. Everybody goes through this where I'm like, man, it's been a long day. I really wish I could go through a drive-through somewhere and not have to cook something. And
you're not perfect?
I'm not perfect.
You're a real human?
I'm a real human.
With problems?
I'm a real human. I'm not a real carnivore, but I'm a real human with real problems.
I think it's better to be a real human than to be a real carnivore. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Auntie is here this morning. Says, starting off my week right. Thank you for words of experience and love. Well, Auntie, thank you.
Auntie. We love you.
We love you so much. Auntie is one of our rock star moderators, and she is the best.
Yeah.
And just a beautiful human being. And she's also very, very good at not judging people and being supportive of people. We love Auntie. She's amazing.
Auntie's awesome.
Caleb's Carnivore Quest is here. It's my parents' anniversary today. 18 years.
Aww.
Well, happy anniversary to Caleb's parents.
That's amazing.
You guys are awesome, and you obviously have a good kid that you whipped into shape.
Yeah.
So
That's
we
awesome.
love it. So hello to Mom and Dad from Caleb. Caleb, we appreciate you being here, my friend. If you guys don't subscribe to Caleb, you totally should. 16-year-old carnivore who is doing really cool stuff, and hopefully by doing all of this with our support as a community can inspire more young people to jump on board too, because how cool would that be if we get a whole bunch of 16-year-olds all around the world starting to go carnivore?
It'd be pretty sick.
It'd be amazing. Imagine in 30 years what the health system would look like if we had a bunch of carnivores all start at 16.
Man,
It'd totally change the world.
It would. It would
be amazing.
So cool.
Let's see. We'll see who else we got here.
Thank you guys again, all of you, so much for your super chats and
thank you
stickers.
guys.
That is so kind of you guys.
It makes such a huge difference.
It really does.
It really supports everything we do, so we appreciate that. Mishy Poo is here today. Hello, Mishy Poo.
Hello.
I love this comment from Rick. Being creative is a human characteristic. You don't have to eat like a cat to be a carnivore. Totally agree, Rick.
Totally agree, man.
I love it. And here's the deal. If Rick can get this, anyone out there should be able to get this, because Rick is probably one of the strictest carnivores and has been for decades.
I believe Rick said, Rick, feel free to, if you're still watching, correct me, but I think he's been carnivore since the 80s.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, and he's very strict carnivore.
Yeah.
He's like cook meat, eat it. Like that is what Rick does, and that's awesome. But he's also made the comment a number of times. He's like, I could use your recipes to feed to my non-carnivore friends and show them that a carnivore diet could be something they could consider. And it's like, exactly. It's not about making Rick eat my recipes and not be strict, because he's happy being strict.
Yeah.
It's about him using it to convince someone else who's not a carnivore, maybe you could do this for your health.
They're tools to help people.
They're tools to help people.
Yeah.
Janelle, a rock star moderator, is here. Good morning, everybody. Still sick with a nasty bug. I'm not functioning at peak performance yet. Please be patient with me if I miss some things. Expect lots of typos and slow responses. Janelle, you're fine. We are so glad you're here. I'm so sorry you're not feeling good, but please let us know if there's anything we can do. And everybody thank Janelle for all her hard work.
Guys, Janelle is literally, when we say a rock star, I mean, we have amazing moderators, but Janelle is so kind. I mean, she'll sit through a 3-hour live stream and just be so helpful with sharing links and all kinds of things, and she's just wonderful.
As moderators go, too, she is one of the fastest people I've ever seen in getting all the links and I mean, she's just amazing.
Just on it. So
she is.
Yeah, we love you, Janelle. I hope you feel better.
Thank you so much. She says, please hit the like and subscribe button here. Go visit the CCN Studios. Like and subscribe there, too. And there's the link for CCN Studios.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Janelle.
Yeah.
Lynn is here. Hi, Chris, Ash, and all on this beautiful Monday morning. I hope you get to feeling better, Janelle.
Yes. Hi, Lynn.
Yep. Lewis Stone is here, one of our community members as well. Good to see you, Lewis. How are you? Jerry is here, says, just finishing up my Kelly Hogan class, listening to both. That's awesome, Jerry. Awesome. Jerry is also a member of our community, and Jerry has her own channel as well. And she does really cool stuff, talking about her personal experience with carnivore. And guess what? I don't think Jerry's a real carnivore either, and is seeing amazing results in her life.
Yeah, Jerry's awesome, y'all.
She's amazing.
Go give her a follow. She's awesome.
She is amazing. We love Jerry. Thank you, Jerry, for being here. John Long is here, our new friend. Hello. Going to have you on in the background as I work. Well,
awesome.
Thank you, John.
Thanks
no problem. Appreciate that. Paula is here, says good morning.
Hi, Paula.
Robert Hanna is here. Hello, Robert.
Hey.
Got Janetta Cummings, says Madison, Tennessee, but at work.
Well,
we appreciate you having us on, Janetta. Switcher Skiff.
I think you said that right.
I think that's as close as I'm going to get. Says good afternoon. Hello to you, my friend. John says, sounds like somebody has a case of the Mondays. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Brian Fly Fisherman Dish is here. Good morning, Ash and Chris. Hi, Brian.
Brian, glad you're here, man.
And John says the time change is always fun with pets.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, man.
Although I will say, it's easier going this direction with Mel than it is the other direction. Because when it's like, okay, we get up earlier, Mel's like, do we have to?
Yeah.
And then if you want to feed her earlier, she's on board.
Yeah.
When it goes the other way and we want to sleep in longer, and she's like, nope, time to get up and feed the dog. And you're like, seriously?
Seriously? Come on, yeah.
So this is easier this direction.
Yeah.
Briar Rose is here. Hello, my friend.
Briar Rose.
Sandy Blythe is here. Hello,
Sandy.
There's Nancy Thompson on Facebook. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Hey, it's our friend Chaotic Carnivore.
Hey there.
Morning, guys. Made it for my first Monday morning motivation. Happy day to start the day off with you.
Well,
we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. How have you been? It's been a little while since we've heard from you, so let us know how you're up to everything. What's going on?
Yeah.
Do you have stuff on the channel that people should go watch, or are we jumping back into that? What's going on there, Chaotic Carnivore? Let us know.
Yeah.
Richard Williams is here. Hello, neighbors. Good to see you, Richard.
Yeah.
And there's my dad. Good morning, Dad.
Hey, Tony.
And there is Yogi. Says good morning. Yogi purchased a gift on my Amazon wish list.
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
Yogi, thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you. When that gets here, we will definitely be incorporating that. So
yes, thank you
very, very much.
I have to say, Chris came and showed me his phone when he got the notification. He was so excited. So thank you so much.
That's the first time that anyone has purchased anything from our gift list in quite a while, because I just don't really push that very much. And I created, if you guys didn't know, I created a gift list as we were really first starting to try to up our video game, because we didn't have any money to get any of the stuff we needed to do this better. And so we just put some stuff on there because people had asked if there were things they could purchase to help out the channel. And so I'd put together that gift list, and honestly, we've been just really maintaining and doing a good thing for a long time. But if you guys would like to donate something, you want to support the channel and you would prefer to pick an item rather than send a super chat or something, if that's something you'd like to do, drop it in the comments. I could always just drop the link in for that for future videos or in this video after we're done, whatever. If that's something you'd like to do, because there's still stuff all the time. We're always saving and trying to upgrade the next gear, the next item of gear, and different things. And if you would like to specifically pick a thing of here's something Chris needs, and I feel like I'm supporting the channel by doing it, I'm more than happy to share. It's not something we expect of people, but it's just something that people requested, so it's there. If you would like us to share that, we're more than happy to.
And Yogi's a sweetheart. Thank you again for that.
Thank
that was
you
very kind of you.
So
kind.
much. We appreciate that.
Very helpful.
Yes, and it's going to make things look really good because it's a tube light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need the tube lights.
Yes,
those
always got to have the tube lights. Lynn says good morning to my dad.
Aww.
Maggie Palmer is here.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Maggie. This is the first live I've ever caught of yours, and it's ending. Haha, lovely to see you both.
Well, it's lovely to see you.
Well, that's all right. We're here.
We're still doing our thing.
Yep, we're doing our thing. Briar Rose says, a cat would not turn its nose up at dairy, but past 6 months to a year, it would likely give it the runs. Yes, very true. And that's one of those things. You just gotta, figure out what works.
Yeah.
Even if you're an animal.
That's right.
Michelle is here. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Cindy is here, another rock star moderator. Yeah. Hello, everyone on both channels. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Let's see. My dad says watching on both channels, one in each eye. Appreciate
awesome.
that.
Thank you guys, by the way, for watching not only on the main Chris Cooking Nashville channel, but also on the Studios channel.
Yeah.
Very appreciative of that. That's our second channel that we've started, and we are this close to getting it set up to where we can actually do more over there. We just kind of need people to watch on that channel and whatnot. So if you're if you are watching on there, thank you. And if you after this live stream want to switch over and check out some of the other stuff we have over there, cool.
Yep.
But go check it out. Like, subscribe. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Leslie is here, says, you guys are absolutely awesome. Chris, your recipes are so good. Please keep it up. I'm just shocked at some of the amazing things even able to do and still keep us carnivore. Have a blessed day.
Aw, thank you, Leslie. That's
so much.
Sweet.
Mitzi 307 Junk Journal says, morning.
Morning.
Haley says, in my opinion, you can be carnivore at 95% meat-based. I agree. Honestly, that's what I try to do. I try to run about 95% meat. If other things are seasonings, the occasional ketovore thing, whatever sneaks in, I don't really hyper-focus on that. I think, from a scientific standpoint, it's 70 or 75% animal flesh is considered a carnivore animal, scientifically speaking. That's not the same thing as a carnivore diet. That's a scientific classification. But since we're on that subject, I think it's about 70%, and I think 90% and up is considered hyper carnivore.
Right.
Something like that. So, I think you're absolutely right. I think if you're at you're 95% meat, things you're doing and the other stuff you include, I absolutely think you're a carnivore.
Yeah.
Lynn says, a bunch of us here on both channels. My brain is too small for this in the morning.
Lynn, I feel that way every Monday. I'm like, where's the coffee?
Yes. Haley is some use spices, dairy, etc. I'm not going to judge who eats a veg once in a while. LOL.
Well, Haley, I think you're really smart though, because that's the thing.
Absolutely.
Does it hurt you and your body if someone decides to have a veggie once in a while? Mm-hmm. Right? That's up to that person to choose and decide. If you don't want to do that, cool. But why are we? It ain't hurting nobody. So let's calm down.
Absolutely. Janelle has a great question. What is a simple definition of a carnivore? A carnivore is an organism that eats mostly meat or the flesh of animals. Sometimes carnivores are called predators. Absolutely.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think when you understand it that way, it's like, okay, that's a very loose, rough definition, and everything else is details that are up to each individual person.
Sure.
And then we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Carrie is here. Showed up a little late from Two Crazy Ketos. That's all right. We appreciate you being here, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
And he says, how do Koopas communicate? They use a shell phone.
Carrie.
Like it.
You're wild.
Like it.
Yeah.
Catholic Carnivore for Life is here. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Ed2276 says, isn't the key to be burning ketones? As long as you're in ketosis and not unhealthy, whether strict carnivore or low carb? Yeah, generally speaking. So, the thing is, so keto is all about ketones, right? It's all about burning ketones as your main fat, or as your main energy source, and that helps you burn extra fat off your body, which is why it tends to lead to weight loss and all this kind of stuff. Carnivore is about basically running off of the fat, the ketones, but also pulling out more of the veggies because of inflammatory things that tend to be in plant products, right? So I agree with you. It's like really carnivore is just going stricter with your keto until you find where your body feels the best.
Yeah.
And that's really it, right?
Yeah.
You can just find whatever place on that kind of sliding scale you feel good and you're happy and it tastes good to you and you're good. Yeah. And I agree. It's like, why do we have to be more intense about our definition than that?
Yeah. It's one thing that I've actually started to do, and to be really honest, I kind of stole this from Nisha Berry because I've just started to tell people that I'm just meat-based.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes, you
eat the ASH diet.
I eat the ASH diet because it's like I have experimented.
Nisha eats the Nisha diet.
Eat the Chris diet.
I eat the Chris diet.
The egg diet. Like,
right.
Yeah, but it's like, as long as you're like, I mean, you're right though. It's like, man, as long as you're like in ketosis, you're healthy, you're still moving towards your goals, whether that's to lose weight or clear up your skin, whatever it is. It's like, so as long as you're making progress and you're doing your thing, why do we have to tell people you're doing it wrong because you're not doing it the strictest way possible?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. And on a side note, Ed, your dog in that photo is super cute.
Yes.
Just precious. I would like to pet that dog.
Yes.
That's really cute.
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog? It's real cute.
Matt is here, DJ Magic Man.
What's
Good
up,
morning, Matt. Good to see you, my friend.
So glad you're
Another
here.
one of our community members.
Yes.
By the way, guys, we're pushing in the direction of 100 members in that community.
Wild.
It is growing and it is doing great. We would love to see you guys over there. So it is linked down below, and you can go to the website scrolling across the bottom of the screen there and come over and see us.
Yes.
We'd love to have you in there. So
a lot of good people there.
Yeah.
A lot of good people.
Yeah. Trying to get that to 100 members. That would be awesome.
Super cool.
Briar Rose is a great point. A carnivore is a creature who eats 70% animal products. It allows for when meat is not available to eat plants. But it's not a license to eat highly processed sugar and carb faux foods.
Oh, come on,
absolutely.
Briar Rose. Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we just don't have to be so dogmatic about it, because as long as you're feeling good, working towards ultimate health, great. And here's the deal. If someone wants to promote meat, salt, water because they think it's the best, I think that's cool. Like, you promote whatever you believe is going to help people the most. But promoting it to help people and beating people up because you're better than they are two very different things.
Yeah, that's
And that's the problem.
Yep.
Saved by Carnivore. What a great
cool.
name. Says people can be too religious about everything. I agree.
Yeah, they definitely can.
I totally agree. Here's the deal. You shouldn't use religion. We have a very deep connection with our faith.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus is our Lord and Savior, and very much that faith is important to us. But I am not going to beat someone else up over the head with that because I think they don't have that figured out. I'm happy to tell people why I believe what I believe, and I'm happy to share with them our faith and hope that maybe they will come to also have that same faith, because I believe that's the way. But that doesn't mean I'm going to treat somebody any different because they disagree with that. So it's like, I don't even treat religion that way, let alone my diet.
Well, I think this is something we talk about all the time on the channel. You do not have to eat and or believe the same way that we do for us to love you and accept you for who you are.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Absolutely. BJ Richardson is here, says, wife and I have tried a few of your recipes. We find the bread replacements still have that eggy flavor. What we have done is added Italian seasoning to offset the eggy flavor. It works wonders. That's great. I've also heard you can add a little bit of lemon juice. Some people have said that offsets the eggy flavors a bit if you're real sensitive to the eggy flavors. Some of that, and depending on BJ what you're doing, there might be some tweaks I can give you. So if you're having any issues with that, feel free to send me an email, and maybe I can give you some other tips depending on what you're experiencing. If you give me more description of kind of what it seems like, but sometimes there's tweaks that we can do. But yeah, you can do a little bit of lemon juice to help offset eggy flavor. And there's a couple of other things I have to remember right now that people have told me they've done. So
Italian seasonings would probably be really good, though, in your bread. I'm sitting here thinking about that. I'm like, that'd be pretty awesome, man.
Absolutely. Fire Station Hub, the Bath, North Carolina Apostolic Hub. That is quite the name.
That's a name.
I love the profile picture there, too. The king
super
of the line.
cool.
It's really cool. My husband and I eat carnivore. Last week we wanted pizza. I made your waffles with cheese to crisp it up, added Rayo's pizza sauce, then cheese and pepperoni, and it was awesome. Gotta be responsible eaters. I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah. Now, the next time you guys want pizza, now you got to go try my new pizza crust recipe that just came out.
So good, guys. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, you can do little mini pizza bites like I did in the air fryer with it. Oh,
yummy.
Those were good.
They were awesome.
Tania B is here. Good morning, my friend, says Chris Ashen Mel. It's good to see you, Tania.
Yes.
Another one of our members of the community.
She's awesome.
Lewis says it would be like me saying I'm leaving Bad Ash because she said she was a country singer and then said she likes Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I mean, yeah. It's like someone saying, oh, yeah, like, you're a country artist, but wow, you like this Led Zeppelin song? Well,
How dare you? You're not real country.
You're not real country, blah, blah. And there's people like that, honestly, that exist in that realm, too. But I honestly, if someone feels that way, then I don't want them to be a badass. I wouldn't want them to be a part of it because I wouldn't want that representation.
Right.
Because I think Led Zeppelin's awesome.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
Good music is good music. Good food is good food.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Richard Williams says, you can't please everybody, so you got to please yourself. When it comes to your diet, that is absolutely the case, man.
Ooh, yeah.
BJ has a great suggestion. Says, Fire Station, try using homemade Alfredo sauce in place of the Rayos. If I want to do like a straight up carnivore pizza and I don't want to play around with the tomato sauce myself, that's what I do is I make Alfredo. So that's a great idea.
Good stuff.
Mitzi says, I feel the carnivore police are entirely too harsh. I call myself carnivore, but I probably lean more towards ketovore. People need to just relax. As long as you feel better, who cares? Exactly. Not I.
And that's all we're trying to say today, I think, really, in the thing. But especially for a lot of the people that are so new to this lifestyle, it's very off-putting, guys. Like, when they're trying to get their health in check, and maybe they're not quite, mentally cleared up yet, and they're just really struggling, and there's so much information out there. And just, if you're beating them up, telling them everything they do is wrong, well, then they're just not going to want to do it.
Yeah, they're just not going to want to do any of it.
Because, it's just a lot. So,
absolutely.
Very, very good point, though.
Briar Rose says, proper human diet is a spectrum. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, and apparently Haley saw me on Dr. Kilt's.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, Haley, we're really glad you're here. That's
thank
awesome.
You.
Thank you for being here. If you guys have not seen the Dr. Kilt's interview, you got to go check that out. That was fun.
Yes.
And we're going to be having Dr. Kilt's on
our channel,
Our channel sometime.
Very exciting.
So, yeah, really, really cool. Let's see. So Ed says, I'm doing strict carnivore for now. I need to get my weight down quickly and already had great health results, but I don't see myself strict forever. I see myself low carb at some point. Yeah. And what a cool thing. You could be strict to deal with some health issues and then sort of oscillate back towards low carb to kind of find where you feel good and like, okay, this is fun. Like, we can have fun with this. We can do this.
Totally. Well, and I think that's kind of what we were saying about, like what Dr. Barry and Nisha talk about all the time is like, hey, be strict. Reset your body and then just go in and start adding stuff back in and just kind of see where you land. And that's awesome, Ed. I'm so happy for you that you're doing that.
Yep. Carrie says, my church pastor's wife's still trying to tell me I need veggies when veggies don't work for me. They still look at me like I'm from Mars. The only one that says I'm just particular is the pastor. Well, yeah, man, people don't understand. They don't understand, and you can't really expect them to understand until they've been on that side of it. But it can be tough. So, but that's why we have things like these live streams in our community and all these places you can go where you can be surrounded by like-minded people.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't beat each other up for it, because we all want to support each other here.
That's right.
Caleb says, people of my demographic need that kind of outlook on carnivore. Seasonings are not the end of the world. The main point is to step in the right direction, not to be perfect forever, starting now.
Yes, Caleb. Totally agree, man.
See, he's way smarter than a 16-year-old
he's
should be.
Genius, man.
He's just
super smart.
On it.
Yeah.
There's our big brother, Brandon.
What's
Brandon
up,
Box
Brandon?
says, good morning from California. Good to see you, Brandon. Hope you're doing good today, my brother.
That's my big brother.
Yep. Ed says, just stay away from the processed stuff and high sugar and eat natural foods. And that's an amazing place to start. And then you can work it from there.
Yeah.
Catherine is here, says, I love looking and trying your recipes. I'm from Sweden.
Oh,
well, hello
awesome.
to you in Sweden. Good morning.
That's so cool.
Probably not morning for you, but we're really glad you're here.
Morning for us.
Catholic Carnivore says, what makes me laugh is this. The person that thinks you're not carnivore because you have some plant. Fact is, we're not any more carnivore than a wolf is. Wolves eat plants too. They love berries and grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Carnivores in the wild get some kind of plant matter in their diet one way or another. A lion that eats the zebra or the gazelle or whatever it is it kills, what do you think that zebra and that gazelle were eating? Plants.
Yeah.
That's why those animals are the food and not the carnivore. Do you think that lion is going to sit there and pick out all of the pieces of grass from the internal organs of that animal before it devours them? No.
Nope.
And they eat all of those soft internal bits first.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they go for. So, like, they get a little bit of grass in their diet, and they're all right.
Yeah. They live.
They live.
Just fine.
Beth is here, says, hello from Florida. I've been carnivore ketovore since July 1st of 23 and feel amazing. I'm turning 64 and have more energy and positivity than my adult kids.
Oh, that's awesome, Beth.
I love it, Beth. That's
Very
amazing.
cool.
One, what a crazy testament of how good this is for people, that you can be 64 and have more energy than your kids.
Yeah.
How awesome. That's so
Actually,
great,
really
Beth.
incredible. Yeah.
Lacey is here. Good morning, Lacey. Finally
Lacey.
planting some seeds today.
That's awesome.
Good to see you,
Good
my
for
friend.
You.
Brian says, I think you're attempting to help others heal their own bodies and have some possible different or similar to the sad diet foods that are way cleaner.
Agreed.
That's
yeah.
it. That's the whole point.
Yep.
That's what we do. Catholic Carnivore. Top wolf biologists in the world have seen that wolves will never turn down berries if they find them. They very much enjoy them, even though they don't digest them. That's right. It's a real thing. It really, really is.
Absolutely.
Peggy is here.
Hi,
Understanding
Peggy.
that mindset is my key to success. Good to hear it repeated. Well, thank you, Peggy.
That's
I'm so glad
awesome.
you're here. And Mike, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I
Yeah.
apologize. Hello from Amsterdam.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever
that's
had anyone from
awesome.
Amsterdam here before. Hello, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Peggy says, long-term success, I say.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
BJ says, we cheat once a week. Normally it's a Friday. And you know what? If that's working for you, great.
Sometimes I did that when we first started because
Yeah.
sometimes it was just that idea of like you're just not giving everything up right away.
Right,
So
right.
it was like, man, but if you think about that,
It's a mind game as much as it is a body game some
it
days.
really is. Yeah. So if that works for you, like awesome. Like we don't do that now because it's like, well, we've done this a couple years, but when I first started, that's kind of what kept me on track.
Right.
So and over time, you work towards something,
Yep.
getting better and just doing what works. But even if you never change, good for you guys.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So Lacey says, I ended up doing a couple of days of brat because nothing was sitting. Tummy troubles improved. Back on carnivore today. I gotta say, after just 3 days of oatmeal, my wrist and elbows started hurting.
Oh, Lacey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Lacey, when you're first doing this, sometimes when you start having stomach type issues like that, your body is still not used to doing carnivore.
Right.
And sometimes doing things like bread or rice or those things, and I'm not saying that people should go do that, but if it helps you get through a couple of days and then you can go back to carnivore,
Yeah.
and you're experiencing that inflammation that comes, one, it really helps highlight what that stuff does to you. And two, it helps you get back off of that tummy thing, back into carnivore. And the longer you do this, the more things you'll start to find, like when my tummy is upset, what's my carnivore way?
Yeah.
So
also something I think that's really cool. So we were talking about, everyone's kind of different. Mm-hmm. So I actually know that some people have said that they can actually have a little bit of rice or something like that over time, like from time to time, while being on a low carb diet. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, I don't really notice any kind of like a difference.
Yeah.
So, okay, let them do that if they want to, if they want to make that choice. Like, okay, with Lacey, it's like, man, for 3 days, and it's like, I can feel it. It's like, okay, well, Lacey's body reacts differently to that. Yep. So, let's not beat Lacey up. Like, no problem.
Right.
And then if someone else can have some of that from time to time and it doesn't faze them.
Well, don't beat them up either.
No one's wrong. Right. It's like, great.
Absolutely. Awesome. And Catholic Carnivore says, Lacey, the best part is that you know what did it, and all you have to do is not eat it.
Exactly.
And that's how we learn. That's how we go through this.
Knowledge is power.
Caleb says, real, Chris. I failed so many diets so many times, and every time I cheated, I realized how bad I felt. Even the first 2 times I did carnivore before now.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Lacey says, you only fail if you stop trying. We had a whole live stream that was about that.
Yeah, we did.
It was, what, a few months ago, I think? Yep, you're right. You were right, Lacey. See, Lacey gets it.
Lacey's smart. She knows
Lacey gets it.
Yeah.
Beth says, hilarious. A Domino's pizza commercial just popped up.
We don't control the ads. They did, yeah.
Of course it did. I'm sorry.
Funny.
YouTube is either just tone deaf or has a sense of humor. I'm not sure. But yeah, sometimes the ads that YouTube picks are wild.
We have no control over any of that. It just pops up whatever.
Yep, so. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I've had people that are like, why am I seeing ads for M&Ms? You shouldn't have that on your channel. And then I go, well, the funny thing is the ads are actually picked based on your profile as a viewer and what you've watched in the past. So it's like, it's not my fault on my channel. It's whatever YouTube thinks you're interested in. And apparently it thinks you're interested in M&Ms. So, but yeah, that's so funny, Beth.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
So funny.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, I get ads for, I get ads for Domino's. I get ads for all kinds of food products. I get ads for kitchen gear. Like, my profile, that's what YouTube thinks I want to see. And back in the day, I did want to see those pizza commercials. So that's absolutely why it picks that for me.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Beth also says, I have a question. Our family goes out to Sunday dinner every week as part of our Sabbath day. In the last 4 times, I've had major digestive issues after just eating a steak or a piece of salmon. Yeah, so, and then she says, do you have any suggestions of how to eat out at restaurants safely as a carnivore? Yeah, Beth, so it's either a seasoning or potentially seed oils that they're cooking that in, most likely. I mean, if the meat quality is good, because, I mean, that could be a problem. Most likely the meat quality is good. If you're getting digestive upset, it's probably either a seasoning they're using or seed oils they're cooking it in. So what I would suggest is when you go out, ask them, do you cook this in seed oils? If so, can you please cook it in just butter or like beef fat or something like that? Because I get sick with seed oils, especially if you tell them I'm allergic to seed oils. They don't like the word allergy in a restaurant. So just be like, I'm allergic to seed oils, which clearly if you're getting digestive upset, you're allergic to seed oils. That's what's happening. So ask them if they're cooking in seed oils. Also, if it's a seasoning thing, be like, can you season it with just like salt and pepper? Like don't put other seasonings on it, because something just kind of messes with my stomach and I'm trying to figure out what. And if you tell them that, I bet anything they can do that. And especially if you use the word allergy when it comes to the seed oils, they'll either clean off the grill or use like a pan that hasn't had any other meat cooked in it yet, or whatever, and they'll be really careful about not getting seed oils. But my bet is that it's either a seasoning that's like some kind of weird preservative thing that's in there, or it's a seed oil they're cooking it in, or maybe both, because it'll do that to me sometimes if we're not careful.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I know you worked at a steakhouse where they unfortunately, even if you order a steak, it was done in seed oil.
Yep.
So again, maybe Beth is more sensitive to that to others, but it's like, that's something. So yeah. But hopefully that helps. Come back and report on how that works for you. But we would love to hear what you find out when you talk to them next time. That's a great question. Yeah, thank you, Beth.
John is here, Cranky Carnivore Cutler. Greetings from Tucson by a 98.67% real carnivore.
He's only 98.67. Yeah,
I love that.
That's awesome.
So this Beth says, unbelievable. Our phones are definitely listening.
Yes, Big Brother's listening.
Janelle says, I confess, I had a little peanut butter yesterday because I didn't feel like cooking. I paid the price with heartburn. And you know what? That's all right. But you know what's really cool? You do that, and then you feel the immediate result of, it just doesn't make me feel good. And you know that.
Yeah.
Right? You learn. But how do you learn if you don't do it?
Well, you don't.
Right? So it's like, so now if you say, I'm going to go do that, I know I'm going to get heartburn, but I want to do that anyway. Well, now you're making an intentional choice, which means you have freedom. 6 inches of freedom. The last 6 inches of freedom right here.
Yeah.
Right? And it's up to you. And listen, if you choose to do it, great. There's people that smoke substances and inject things and do all kinds of stuff that they know aren't good for them, but because they choose to. Because part of being an adult is we can choose to do things like that if we want.
Yeah.
You know? And going out and drinking alcohol. Alcohol is a slow poison. There's nothing about it that's good for you. People still choose to do it because we're adults, so we can do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, at the end of the day, I don't really think that's the worst thing you can do. You choose to have an occasional drink. Now, for Ash, it's a major problem.
But this goes back to people are different.
Right.
Maybe you can go out and occasionally have a drink, and you go, man, I feel totally fine.
Yep.
I don't really feel the effects. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I feel a little bit off, but like whatever. Okay, well, if I have a drink, because we've tried it, if I have a small little amount of alcohol, I have a breakdown. I'm anxious. I get super, super anxious. I can't make up my mind. I can't make a decision. And so for me, the way my body works, that doesn't work. However, Janelle, I can tell you that I can have some peanut butter from time to time, and maybe I don't feel super great the next day, but it's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, I've never eaten peanut butter and had heartburn.
Right.
So it's like, you know, this shows that just people's bodies are different.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Each of us has our different lines.
So we're not going to beat Janelle up because she had peanut butter.
Right.
I mean, it's
absolutely.
Like, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brandon says the desire of convenience is the killer of consistency.
Yes.
I love that.
Preach it.
Jennifer says, my birthday is in a month. I'm planning to have a big-ass hunk of Costco cheesecake. Next meal will be back on track. I'm going to sit with the achy joints and stomach ache. It's a planned, not an oops.
And Jennifer, I think that's so awesome, though. Yeah.
And that's great.
Come on, that's awesome.
I would never encourage someone to do that, and I would never discourage someone from doing that if that's what they want to do. I think it is purely up to you, and as long as you go into it knowing what you're doing, why, you're planning on going back the very next meal, cool.
Yeah.
we all get to make these decisions.
Well,
great.
And you know, here's a big thing. It's your birthday.
Yeah.
Right? Your birthday happens once a year.
Yeah.
You're allowed to celebrate a little bit on your birthday. That's totally okay. Now, if you're maybe buying that big ass hunk of cheesecake every week, then maybe that maybe not be the best thing, right? But it's like doing it on your birthday, nothing wrong with that. And the next day you just go back to it. So good for you, Jennifer.
Beth says, when I go out, I look at the menu online first to plan my meals. I do too.
That's smart.
It's the exact same thing I do. Anytime we go out anywhere, I'm always looking at the menu online, figuring out what am I going to do when I get there. So that way I'm not struggling, sitting at the table, panicking.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Caleb says, so glad I tuned in. This just encourages me to make more videos. Absolutely.
That's awesome, Caleb.
Yep. You get it, my brother. We'll do one together soon. Joe Blow is here, says, I've been carnivore for about 5 years now, and I not only lost weight, but my body is healing from the abuse of the standard American diet. Complete poison to our bodies. Absolutely.
Sure is.
And it's amazing when you get off of that, how much starts to really change and how clear of a picture you get.
Absolutely, yeah.
BJ says, I say cheat every so often, you will pay for it. I always do, but just tells you that your body doesn't like that stuff. And that's the thing, like sometimes when you do that, suddenly you go, oh man, this is why I don't do this. Man, I feel terrible. That's what happens to me. And it's honestly a really good motivator to stick to carnivore, and I cheat less and less and less because it's just not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
But that's a growing process for your brain to wrap itself around that. So.
Yeah.
Janine is here, says, any moves toward a healthier lifestyle is good. I enjoy your recipes from time to time. You offer great options, healthier versions of comfort foods. Thank you for that. Well, you're welcome, Janine, and I agree. I love that. So great perspective on that. Love that. Saved by Carnivore, I've never been 100%, and I've still lost 100 pounds and healed leukemia and type 2.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's incredible.
You guys give a big rock on to Saved by Carnivore. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Amazing.
So cool.
Beth says, I specifically asked the server to not have my steak or burger cooked in oil, and if they use real butter. Otherwise, you can bring a stick of butter with you in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
there you go. Great idea. John says, sadly, so I saw this out of the corner of my eye, and I thought this said goat keepers, and I was like...
What?
I was really confused for a second, and then I was like, "Oh, gatekeepers, right?"
Gatekeepers.
thank you for the giggle, John. Goat keepers. Yeah. Sadly, gatekeepers exist in everything. Do what works for you, and honestly, your recipes truly help keep me on track. So thanks. Well, I'm glad, John.
Awesome.
Thank you. Diane says there's no such thing as cheating. Cheating assumes you gained the upper hand. You have not. It's a good point. Yeah. I think it's an off-plan meal. I think cheating is a concept we say because it's just everyone knows what it means. But I think in truth, the invention of the word cheat meal should have never been done. Mm-hmm. But, here we are.
Yeah, it's a way to make people feel bad about making a choice, essentially.
Right. Joe Blow says that being said, eat the way you want. Whatever you feel is your body.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Lynn says the only thing that looks the same on you in those two photos, Chris, is your hair. That's definitely your head of hair. You look great. Well, thank you, Lynn. I agree. It's about the only thing in me that didn't change. Although I think it is maybe a little thicker now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, a lot healthier of hair for sure.
So there is our beautiful friend Lynette.
Lynette, how are you, friend?
How are you?
That's awesome.
Good to see you. Beth says I give my side dishes to my dinner partner or wrap them up to serve as side dishes to my son. He won't consider keto or carnivore. Yeah, makes total sense, and that's a way to do it. So.
Yeah.
Catholic Carnivore says even A2 dairy spikes my insulin very high, even if it's full fat. I can only have it very occasionally. Yeah, and some people really struggle with that.
So again, try with your own body what works for you, and then stick with that. And don't let someone tell you, well, you got to have dairy, or no, you can't have dairy.
Right.
Just do what works for you, because you're different, and only you will be able to know that and tell.
Correct. Barbara Castor is here. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. Good morning.
Beth says I bring my electrolyte packet with me to put into my water or iced tea. That's
super
smart.
That's the good stuff right there.
That is super, super smart. I love that. Let's see. Catherine is here, says, all I know is my diverticulitis went away as soon as I went back to carnivore ketovore. I had a half cup of steamed to death broccoli to satisfy my craving. I had no issues. Yay.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's super good.
That is great.
Good for you.
Reese's Cluttered Kitchen is here. I'm here. Got distracted by hubby. Good morning, all.
Good morning. Oh, man.
John Wise is here, said, made it. Too Crazy Keto's live stream was long today. Catching up at 1.5 times speed. Well, that's all right.
Oh, good. Welcome, John.
Dustin is listening with his eyes closed. It's a sleepy Monday.
Dude, we feel that. It's that time change, man.
Catholic Carnivore. Catherine, that's awesome. My husband is healing his stomach also. He had Crohn's. He's also symptom-free.
Oh, that's amazing.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
I like this. John says, I try to always call ahead to restaurants to inquire if they use seed or vegetable oil on their grill. If so, I tell them that I'm allergic, ask if they will cook the whatever it is separately. It's a great way.
That's
great
awesome.
way to do that. Love that. He says, in a pan with butter, I'll let the server know that I'm allergic to those oils, and thus far I've been accommodated by those restaurants that use the oils. Once I could only have chicken.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very nice. Good advice, guys.
John says, nice mountain of steaks. I'll take 1 pound medium rare, please. Yeah. Yeah, the thumbnail on this live stream, I'm really trying to step up the thumbnail game because as stupid as that seems, that's a major key to running a YouTube channel.
It is,
to get the attention for the videos that makes this sustainable. So it's another one of those skills that people who don't run a YouTube channel have no idea you have to spend so much time doing
on
things like
pictures and
learning how to make a thumbnail. Like it seems silly, but we've seen a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see the difference. So it's really crazy.
Yeah.
John says keto chow is great for road trips. Goes great with bacon jerky. I agree. That's a great way to use it.
Yeah.
Haley says I was keto but learned the diet sugars weren't for me. Doesn't mean someone else can't benefit from using them. To each his own.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What a great way to look at that. Peggy says, yes, I really do not care for cheat. I give myself permission to do so knowing the possible consequences, which allows me not to say I have failed, but to move on with my way of eating with confidence.
Good for you, Peggy. I like that.
John says CCN is a low-carb recipe channel, not strictly carnivore or keto. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of my stuff is carnivore-based, but it's like, I've never labeled it one way or the other because I don't want to pigeonhole what I do into one thing that serves one small group. I want to be able to serve as many people as I can.
Well, and also, guys, look, there's this thing called common sense, okay?
Yep.
So if you're keto, and if you decide to make Chris's, let's say, carnivore mashed potatoes or carnivore pasta, well, then that's a substitute for you, and it will actually lower your carb count. So there's that. If you're ketovore and you do that, I mean, if you're carnivore and you decide to be, if you're meat, salt, water, and you're like, man, it's Christmas morning and I'd really like some Carnivore biscuits and gravy.
Right.
I'm going to go make that CCN recipe and have biscuits and gravy with my family and still be somewhat carnivore.
Yep.
That's a win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. Especially if you can make it for the family and they go, this is really good. You don't even need to make the regular ones we used to have.
Right.
Let's just have these.
Which we hear happens all the time.
You just now organically and with ninja tactics lowered the carb count your family is eating.
Yeah, and that's, again...
I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah. Love that.
Husky Mom is here. Hello, Husky Mom.
Hi.
Says, it's very scary, particularly with both stroke and heart disease in the family. As a 78-year-old starting all of this, I'm not sure of it all. Have gone with a carb manager app to track. Husky Mom, you're doing great.
Yeah.
And congrats on, even at 78, saying, I have a chance of better health. I'm going to go after it. And I understand this is weird because for 78 years, you have been programmed to believe a certain thing about health and food, and now they're telling you it's all wrong. I totally get that's weird.
Yeah.
Go, if you're not doing it yet, go subscribe to Dr. Ken Berry. Watch all of his stuff. He's got things on heart disease and stroke, and he links to the research studies to prove all of this. So you can go read the research for yourself, and you can have the confidence to not be afraid of it. I promise you. I know it's scary. I know it's weird. I promise you. Go dig into all of that stuff. Your eyes will be opened. And I have a feeling when you do this, make sure you're getting plenty of fat. It's really important. Make sure you're getting plenty of fat. Keep those carbs super, super low, and just wait to see what happens to your health. Because when you start feeling that good, it's like, I don't even care what people say anymore. Now look how I feel and what's going on. This is the way.
Absolutely.
It is the way.
Also, really quick, if you don't mind, since Husky Mom is here, and I don't recognize that name, and clearly they're getting started, and this is all very exciting, so very proud of you, Husky Mom. Husky Mom, just so you know, in case you do need like additional support, and not only talking with like Chris or I, but a lot of people that may be close to your age, the same age, people who have done this a long time, people just like yourself that are starting out, where you want to share tips and tricks, and just have like a community around you that can maybe help answer questions or point you in the right direction. Join our private community. You'll see chriscookingnashville.com. I think there's actually a link in the show notes of this.
If you go to the description box right below the video, click it. The private community is linked there for you. It'll take you right to it.
Just something to consider if you're like, man, if I could have a way to basically connect with other people that could really support me in my journey, please check that out. That's why we created it.
Yeah.
Also, if it's a few dollars a month to join that. If you're like, I can't do that right now, no big deal. There's no pressure. We do live streams like this one. So we do this live stream every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We usually go for about 2 hours or so, just depending. But this is all about motivation. Come and ask your questions. Let us help motivate you and encourage you, or give you tips and tricks to kind of help you with wherever you're at in your journey. We also, every Tuesday night, so tomorrow night, Chris actually does a cooking live stream where we go downstairs and he cooks dinner for us live in our kitchen. And while he cooks, he not only teaches you recipes and different techniques and stuff, but feel free to come show up there and ask your questions. So always happy to help. But for yourself and anyone who's new, we're so glad you're here, and we're rooting for you.
Yes, we are here anytime. We love you. We think you're great. By the way, in the private community, Pastor Bob is in there.
Yes.
Okay, so Pastor Bob is like 62, I think. Okay. Something like that. But since Husky Mom says they're 78 years old, his mom is 95 and is on a carnivore diet, and has healed her arthritis. And has healed a whole bunch of other things that she has going on. She's eating a carnivore diet and doing amazing at 95 years old. So it's incredible.
There's a lot of people like around your age that have really come to find this, and that are really just getting in and seeing amazing results. So age is truly nothing but a number, you guys.
That's right.
Until the good Lord calls you home, it's just nothing but a number.
As Dr. Berry always says, if you can fog a mirror, you can change your health.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Doesn't matter what your age is. So Husky Mom, we're so proud of you for doing this. We're glad you're here. Let us know how we can help you.
Yeah.
Joe Blow says, I'm 52 and the carnivore lifestyle has reduced my inflammation significantly in my joints.
Oh,
absolutely.
Awesome. Good deal.
So Beth says, the salmon was grilled without any oil, but did have a little bit of sauce drilled over the top. Could it have been just from that little bit of sauce? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, because that sauce could be made with sugar, preservatives, seed oils. I mean, like when you guys get sauce over something at a restaurant, you have no idea the stuff that goes into that.
Well, usually none of those sauces would be made from scratch. So I guarantee you it came from a cheap, big big jar of goo. Which
unless
is
it was a really nice restaurant,
–
which even then, they're probably adding in seed oils or other sugars or junk or spices you don't know about. That's just how sauces are made.
I used to get salmon when we would go to steakhouses because I really enjoy salmon, and I would get like some remoulade or like something like that on the side. But because of the mayo and all the stuff that they did that, right?
Yep.
It's like that all had seed oils. It all had sugars. It all had hidden stuff, and I would feel terrible.
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
Janelle says, Husky Mom, hang in there. You're doing something good for your body, but it will be an adjustment. There's lots of support out there and in here for you. Yes.
Yes, I love that.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Erna is here. Erna Juliana Primo says, hi, Chris and Ash. Wow, I don't know what I missed, but wow, later for the asshole. You have always answered me and helped in different ways, and most of all, you have had patience with me, and I have learned so much. Well, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And listen, as long as someone's not trying to be a jerk about something, we are here to help everyone. We really care and love everybody. We just don't want people to come in and be a jerk. That's the only thing we ask.
It's the only thing we ask.
Yes, and so I appreciate that. I don't feel like I've had to be patient with you. I feel like I've just tried to help any way that I can. You're not a burden. You're not a bother. You guys asking me questions is not a problem. It may take me a while to get to them because we're so busy.
But we really enjoy it.
Yeah, we really enjoy helping people. So that's why we're here, and that's why the community exists. So if you want to get extra of that kind of stuff, you can get to it easier and have more people than just me who really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That can message you directly and you can talk to each other. That's why it helps so much. So I'm just glad that it's been helpful. I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you for that.
John says, yeah, dropping the seed oils along works wonders on inflammation and joint pain.
Sure does.
Yes, it does. I love this. Haley K. Learn all you can, Husky Mom. When you feel the difference, you'll know you're on the right track. My arthritis, gone.
Oh, that's awesome, Haley.
Amazing.
So cool.
And John says, many sauces have seed oils, especially like tartar sauce because of the mayo. Butter is best. Yeah, that's the reason I work so hard to make the sauces that I do with like the spreadable butter mayo or like the gravies that I do that don't have starches, because sauce is tough.
Oh yeah, man.
It's hard to make sauces the way that we all expect sauces to be in a keto, carnivore, and seed oil free way.
Yes.
That's hard. So that's why I work so much on that. And you have to be so careful with sauces out, because they'll tell you, oh yeah, this is seed oil free, it's great. And then they put some sauce on it, which is like 50% seed oil.
Right.
And they don't even think about it. It's not that they're doing it intentionally.
No.
They don't even think about it. So.
Right.
John says, I can eat an entire pizza and feel fine. The dog gets the crusts. I just eat the toppings. Beth says, can a tiny bit of seed oil really do that to me digestively? Maybe since I've been eating carnivore and a lot cleaner, my body is just reacting to any amount of that.
Beth, it definitely can, yeah.
Absolutely. Ask me what happens to my intestines if I get a little bit of seed oil. Because I have irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thumbs up for irritable bowels. Jeez.
Are we going to talk about poop again?
We're going to talk about poop. Listen, if I eat seed oils, I poop myself silly, okay?
Yeah.
That is just the way it is.
It messes with him digestively.
And mentally.
Yeah, thank you for saying it. And mentally, he becomes a little irritable. But yeah, Beth, it totally can. It's kind of like a lot, Beth. But again, though, great example. It's like, Beth, to me, it sounds like, yes, that totally can do it, because we've experienced this with Chris and other people. We hear that a lot. Like, man, I went and, had just a steak, and all of a sudden they cooked it in a seed oil, we find out. And it's like, man, I'm having heartburn and indigestion. I'm in the bathroom every 10 minutes. Whereas, like, for me, if I go out nowadays after doing this for a while, if I have a salmon that was maybe cooked in a little seed oil, and if I have a little remoulade sauce with it, I don't really notice a difference. I maybe feel a little sluggish.
Yeah.
I don't react as severely as him.
You get some inflammation from it.
I get inflammation,
like 3 or 4 days later, she'll be like, my body is dumping water. I've peed like 12 times today.
Yeah.
So it's that. It's like inflammation where you hold on to water.
So I'll get like inflammation, and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Chris is very different. His body reacts totally different to mine, but it's very possible.
You may be very hypersensitive to the seed oils or something else that's in that sauce you don't know about.
Right.
So, I mean, because who knows if it's pre-made sauce? Who knows what preservatives or other stuff they put in there? Like, sugar's not the only thing that poisons us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other stuff in food that... It's
just chemicals. Like,
it's all kinds of stuff.
It's made to preserve it and have it last longer. And,
Yep. Diane says, have been eating whatever you call it for almost 10 years. The division has gotten significantly worse with the introductions of terms like carnivore and ketovore. There's always been zealots. Yeah. And that's why we fight so hard against the division. And that's why I do the Keto Crusade stuff with Dustin and Victor. We're trying to bring the community together, and we just want people to feel supported. So.
Yeah.
John says, seed oil does that to me. Only the amount remaining on unbreaded chicken wings that were fried in it. Absolutely. That little bit of just trace seed oils on the outside of a chicken wing that's not holding on to anything but those trace amounts, for someone like John, that can really mess with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very possible. Diane says, you know what? I'm a woman, a nana, a chronic illness survivor, a lover of humans, and a wild child who happens to eat meat. What I eat has very little to do with who I am.
Oh, you're awesome.
Love that.
I totally agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Peggy says, I'm agreeing, saying I'm eating the proper human diet instead of carnivore, ketovore, or carnivore for exactly what you are saying. Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing, when you tell people a label, sometimes they take that way too far, and it just turns into a whole thing.
Well, and something I think is worth pointing out. So if you say to somebody, I'm meat-based, I'm keto, I'm carnivore, whatever. When you say something like I'm ketovore or I'm keto, they have, for starters, the terms are kind of loose, but depending on that person you're talking to, what they believe to be, say, keto or carnivore or whatever, just because they don't agree with what you're doing doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Right. So if you're still on a proper human diet spectrum, then you're okay.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
if you're eating the Hershey bars and the Ding Dongs and the Twinkies
that's
and
a problem.
Processed foods and sugar, I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but guys, that ain't good for you. That's not on a proper human diet spectrum.
It's not about telling people what to do. It's about the fact that we've seen a rise in chronic illnesses and cancer and diabetes and obesity and all these other things as it relates to consumption of those things.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah. So that's what we're fighting against.
Yeah.
The rest of it's all details.
True.
John says, just ignore the carnivore cops. They're a bit like strict vegans. They think their way is the only way.
Yes, very true.
Yes. Carrie says, before I was carnivore, I was stocking the generic Dr. Peppers. I told the couple I've never drank a Dr. Pepper, and they told me I wasn't a real Texan. After they left, I laughed at myself.
So much, yeah.
It's good. Haley says, crazy that everyone who's trying to better their health gets a label and gets yelled at. Yep.
Yeah, Haley. Yep. It really is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. If someone's trying to do something good for themselves, why would we judge them and beat them up for it?
Yeah.
And that's why Ash and I are just like, no, we're here to support people.
Yeah.
We're here to help people. Provide them options, tools, opportunity to change, and then just help along the way.
Yeah.
Janelle says, you tell them, Ash.
Janelle, I'm just done, okay? I got better things to do.
And Auntie says, Ash, I love you so much. I get that so much.
Aw, thank you, Auntie. I just think that it needs to be said, And it's honestly, we have friends that are meat, salt, water. And I love them. But they don't tell me what to do.
Right.
There's just, I have to stick up for yourself, though,
Being meat, salt, water is not bad. Being mean to someone else who's not meat, salt, water is bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty much as simple as I can make that.
Yeah.
So,
well
and
said.
for the dogmatic people out there who can't seem to get that, come find me. I'll get some crayons later and we'll talk about it. Carrie says, Ash said a wordy dird.
Yeah, I did. I'm putting in words to make sure we all understand.
That's right. Sometimes you got to say something in a way that makes people sit up and go, whoa.
Yeah. Yep. Do not care.
Risa says, Ash Taylor, this is why I love you and Chris. You are real. You don't care what others think of how you eat.
No.
Nope.
I don't. Thank you, Risa.
Not only do I not care how others think of how I eat, but I actually get a kick out of standing up to people who think it's okay to beat somebody else up because of how they eat.
I also think you have to be very... what's the word I want to use? I think in order, if your actual goal is to, one, improve your own self and your own life and your own health and your own everything, then you have to first look at yourself and make sure that you're confident in knowing what works for you, what doesn't. There's a whole trial and error and kind of knowledge aspect of this journey, right? And then once you have that, I think you then become very confident and knowing your own body, your own self, and what works.
Yes.
And so then it's even if you're still on your journey like we are, even if you're still tweaking things, you're just confident. So then when someone comes in and says, you're not really keto, you're not really ketovore. Oh, you only do carnivore 2 weeks out of the month. Well, you're not a real carnivore. Well, no, I guess I'm not, but I just don't care. And it's because it's still working for me. I'm still bettering my health in all these ways. I'm still losing weight. And when I try doing it your way, my body said, hey, we don't like that. So Yeah, but thank you, ladies. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. You got a fan club in here, babe.
I don't know about that. I'm just keeping it real, people. Keep it real.
That's right. Stay out of Ash's way when she's getting upset like that. She'll cut you. She's from Bakersfield.
Oh, I just don't have time for it, though. Yes. Because again, it's like, why would I give the time? Okay, so some guy comes in the comments section, okay? Well, let's start here. When I gained all my weight, which was in the course of about 3 years, before that, I've always been really tall and really slender. And then, through a series of events, I put on over 100 pounds in the course of 3 years. So, very short amount of time. And that's when all my health problems, and honestly, I was off the rails and I was very unhealthy. So, I start doing keto, right? At this point, you didn't have a YouTube channel. I start doing keto. I lost so much weight so quickly. My body did a whole, it was like, woo.
It was a 180.
It was crazy. So I started experiencing weight loss, mental clarity, my anxiety went away, my depression, all of these things worked out so wonderfully.
Yep.
And I lost 100 pounds, right? 100 pounds. And then Chris starts his YouTube channel. And after about the second or third viral recipe, after I've lost 100 pounds, after I've completely changed my life, and now we're trying to help other people's, then I get these carnivore guys coming in the comments, and they either say two things. One, they say that we're both still fat, so I was never called fat until after I lost 100 pounds. Or two, they tell me that because I eat a salad from time to time means that I'm not a real carnivore, and therefore I'm not worthy and I shouldn't be involved in whatever. So you can kiss my ass.
Right.
I eat my salad. But seriously, it's why would I give that person the time of day? You don't know my story, you don't know my journey.
Yeah.
People in your own life, like Carrie was talking about someone at his church, and it's not that these people maybe mean bad.
Some do. Some don't.
Some do, some don't. But either way, you don't know that person, why they're acting out this way. What is the purpose of them saying something like that? So it's why would you give that person power over you?
Correct.
And I just don't have time for that because we have, how many subscribers do you have right now?
124,000. We're headed towards 125.
Okay, so we got you people in the community that I love very much and I care about, and I want to help and encourage all of you no matter where you're at on this journey. We've got a cookbook to write. I've got songs to write, songs to record. I've got shows to play. I got a dog that needs to be taken out and walked. I got things to do and people to count on me. And so you should also, just like me, not give power to people that do not matter. They have no air in my life.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
There you go. So you get me all worked up again. I'm gonna get mad again. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get fighting.
I love when my wife preaches.
I do. I think he picks topics like that because I don't know what we're talking about till we sit down. I think he picks topics knowing, ooh, my wife's gonna get real heated. That's right. She's going. Right. I'm gonna push her buttons.
That's right.
Yep.
Poke. Ernest says, yes, everyone is different. It's all trial and error. It takes time to find what works for yourself. I know I cannot do total carnivore, so I tweak and weed out. That's why I love you guys. I'm 8 pounds away.
Oh, come on. Rock on.
Rock on.
Good for you. Oh,
yeah.
We got a light show. That's amazing, Erna. Good for you.
Christine is here and saw the before and after pictures and said, wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You're so sweet.
Yes. And Susan is here. Good morning, Susan.
Hope you're doing well.
Sherry is here. Oh, poop. You started an hour earlier for me now. I just got up. I'll watch to the end and then replay the beginning. Morning, all.
Hi, Sherry.
It's okay, Sherry. I won't time out you. It's all right.
Sherry, we won't time out you because this time change is kicking our butts, too. So.
Yeah. So Juliana says, by the way, from my goal, she's at 8 pounds. Is that what she said? 8 pounds?
I think 8 pounds.
Yeah, 8 pounds away from the goal and skinniest since high school. And I love your honesty.
Ah, thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, we certainly don't have any way to hide it because that's just who we are. So
it's exhausting. yeah.
Aunt Kay is here. Carnivore Kay.
How are you?
John says I'm about 150 pounds down from my highest weight. Still way more than where Chris started and been stalled for almost 2 years. But type 2 is controlled, and I feel better than I have in the last 15 years. Well, and the thing is, here's the other thing we have to think about. Where in human history is your body ever going to get its ancestral DNA concept that it's okay for you to lose 150 pounds?
Yeah, it's not.
Your body doesn't know what to do with that because in past times in history, if you lost weight at that speed, you were going to die.
Yeah.
So your body has things that it's like, okay, so we need to heal all of this other stuff. And when in time, John, as you're doing what you got to do, and you know this, I'm preaching to the choir here because John's got this under control.
John's awesome.
John's awesome.
Great.
But for anyone else listening, John's body will lose weight when it's ready.
Yeah.
But it doesn't know what to do with the fact that he's lost 150 pounds, and it's got other things it needs to heal now that it's lost that much weight.
This is another pet peeve of mine, other than putting labels like keto, ketovore, carnivore, whatever, and then all of that. So John lost 150 pounds, which is amazing.
Yep.
Holy cow. And even if he still has more to lose, his type 2 is under control. He's feeling better. There's all of these other things. Why do we put so much emphasis on the amount of weight that we're currently losing?
Right.
How is losing weight, or not losing weight, more important than having your type 2 diabetes under control? How is that more important than getting rid of anxiety, depression? Are those not all important?
Yeah.
Is one really more important than the other? Because I think in order to be healthy and whole, it's like you have your mind, right? Clearing that up is probably, I think, the most important. Then you have your body and you have weight loss. You have, think about your internals, your heart, your insulin levels. Your hormones, all of these things. It's like, so if the body works as a whole together to operate and you're working on healing the whole thing, why do we always focus on just one thing out of the whole picture?
Why is how big your belly is the only thing people see as making value or taking away value of you as a person?
And even if you still have a belly, I got a nice little fat pooch right here. Yeah.
I've still got one.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, but I've got it.
But that's my point. You're working on it, but you've also lost 130 pounds. So your belly is 130 pounds smaller than what it used to be.
Yeah.
John is down 150 pounds. Yeah. He's just still on his goal.
Some of that probably came out of my butt and my forehead too, but
It mainly, I'm going to tell you right now, it was mainly his forehead. He used to have a really big head.
Right,
Yeah, real big. But it shrank. It shrank.
That's good. Beverly says, love you guys being up front. Lots of groups I don't comment in because of how I'm made to feel. Thank you for these Mondays. I so enjoy you all. And that is exactly why being a real carnivore is not something that I care about, because people like Beverly go where all the real carnivore types are, and she's made to feel like she can't comment.
Yeah.
How sad is that someone who's trying to do something good doesn't feel like they get to be included? This is what I've realized. This is the problem. No one should be made to feel excluded and ostracized because they're somehow not as good as everybody else. And if you treat people that way and you cut them out, it pisses me off. And I really have no patience for people that do that to people, because to be honest with you, I've felt that way.
Right.
And that's why I stand up for people who don't deserve to be treated that way, because I was treated that way plenty of times in my life, and it makes me angry. That's what it is.
It makes me mad too. That's why I get so heated when you keep talking about this and keep making me mad.
Yes.
But this is a solid point though. So my question that I'd like to pose to all the real carnivores that are probably going to find this live stream and go back on the replay and do a whole thing. Here's my question, okay? Let's break this down and use some common sense. So how can someone, basically like Beverly's saying, it's like, man, I don't feel comfortable going into these other things and commenting because of the way that they make me feel, the way that I'm treated.
Right.
Well, how is someone supposed to learn what's right and what's wrong and what's to be expected and how you do this and how you succeed at this, if when they come to ask a question, you beat them up for not knowing the answer?
Right. How are you supposed to have a community that supports you so you can experiment and do the things that make you feel better when ancestrally appropriate? It's one of those terms that real carnivores like to throw around. That's not ancestrally appropriate. What's ancestrally appropriate is having a tribe that was around you, that supported you, so you could all work together. So if someone's trying to come be a part of your tribe and they're asking for help, and then you kick them while they're down, how is that ancestrally appropriate? How is that being a tribe? How is that helping anybody? How is that being anything other than a worthless piece of trash?
Yeah. Oh, it's true. And I think...
I'm sorry, but how is that any way better than just pulling the trigger on somebody?
It's pretty wild. But I think that's the thing. Is I feel like that's why Chris and I work hard, though, to create a community where everyone is welcomed, no matter... Yes. And that's why Chris is not a carnivore chef. He's not Chris is just a proper human diet chef.
Yep.
And he tries to make recipes wherever it is that you fall on the spectrum.
Yep.
And then he does all this extra work that you guys probably don't see, but trust me, I see it because I hear it all, I film it all, I know. He'll do all this stuff where it's like, okay, so if you're, not willing to put this seasoning in your diet, then this is where you would leave that part out. Right? And it's like we just customize it so that way everyone has hopefully the same options and the same chance.
Yep.
But Beverly, thank you for that sweet comment.
Yes.
You're awesome. Also, Beverly, I have to say, I love your choice of emojis with the unicorn, the bacon strips, and the flowers. I like unicorns, I like bacon, and I like flowers. You're awesome, Beverly. Thank you, friend.
Love it. John says, I'll never go back to SAD even if I never lose another ounce.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Why would you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Risa says, my why is because I do not want to get diabetes. My dad had it, type 1, and he got it at 59. I'm 64 and I'm still good without it. I do occasionally have sugar, but I do occasionally have a beer.
Yeah, but I think occasionally is the key word. And you know your body and your limits. You know your why. You know your goals.
Yep.
Good for you.
And she says, I'm still good.
Exactly.
Love
it. So awesome.
Love it. And this is awesome. Carrie says, you will never see me with alcohol. 17 years without it.
Come
17
on,
years sober. Good job,
amazing.
Carrie. To rock on right there.
Come on, dude.
Martha is here. Says, hey, everyone, finally made it back for the live feed. Morning, Chris and Ash. It's good to see you, Martha. We are so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Joe Blow says, I started at 235. Now I'm 185.
Oh,
how cool
awesome,
is
man.
that?
Good for you.
How cool is that? John says, over 24 years, no coffee or alcohol, over 3 years off of the SAD.
Good deal, guys.
Amazing. You guys are all rock stars.
Yeah.
Adam says, appreciate all you do.
Appreciate you, man.
Yep. And Matt says, that's real hard truth. Carnivore isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay. And that's the thing. It's like, why does it matter if you're better with keto than you are with carnivore? What does it matter?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Christine says, you guys are amazing. Thanks for all that you do.
Oh,
You're amazing, Christine.
Appreciate that.
Peggy says, is part of it maybe new people turning to the PhD? I'm not sure which part of what we were saying you're referring to, but I think some of the new people coming to the proper human diet leads to a couple of things. It leads to, one, questions that people get ostracized and criticized for by the veterans who know all the answers and think that makes them somehow better. And then you also get people who are new to the PhD and they go to the far extreme with it, and then they very quickly turn into one of those, I'm going to beat other people up because I now have the answer, and they don't have the wherewithal and the understanding to be like, oh yeah, 3 months ago I didn't know any of this, so why am I now beating someone else up for it? And it's a thing. It's a process.
Yeah, I also think that there are a lot of people that we've just experienced, like on our channel. So we've seen an influx of people, and I think this is important for you guys to know, even if you don't have a YouTube channel. I think a lot of people, maybe because of just the health crisis that we have in America, or even different countries, we just obesity, heart problems, cancer, all these things. I think a lot of people's eyes are being opened. I think it's literally gotten to the point so bad health-wise for people that people are desperate for answers. And so I think a proper human diet, whether that be keto, ketovore, carnivore, again, wherever they fit on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are finding this and they are hungry for information. I think they need help more than they have ever needed help. And so I think this is, we've seen more and more people start tuning into our live streams.
Yep.
We have seen an influx on people joining our brand new private community who are names that we do not recognize per se. So
right now we have 140 people watching this.
Yep.
We were up to like 180 something at some point, I think.
Yeah.
On this live stream, we used to do this for like 30 people.
Like every Monday.
Every Monday it was like 30 to 40 people.
Maybe more people realize that we're here, but like that's quite a bit. But a lot of the people that we see messaging us, commenting us, they're new names. And a lot of them are saying, hey, I want to do this, or I just started Carnivore. So what Chris and I see is like, okay, like, and we're not even the biggest channel out there. We're just, you know.
I mean, I'm a pretty big deal.
Oh, shut up. You're not. Humble him. But like,
no, we're not.
We're not. But we're saying
we're not a 2 million subscriber Dr. Barry channel.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So we may be a bigger channel, but we're not like a huge channel. But we see a lot of people coming though, joining the private community. They're tuning into live streams. New people are commenting on recipe videos. New people are emailing us with their stories and asking questions. So it's like people are really coming to find this. So I think why Chris and I are so heated about this real carnivore discussion, or sometimes if you're tuning into stuff and you've been with us a long time, why are we talking about certain things? Because we have a whole new wave of people that are coming in that need help.
Right.
And we have straight up heard from we've heard everything. We have people that we're helping that don't even really probably watch our YouTube channel.
Right.
Where maybe we met them like at church or through a friend or something like that. And they're like, man, I knew like I started to do keto, and then people told me I did it wrong, so I just stopped. And then I gained an extra 50 pounds.
Right.
Or then it's like, man, I was told that I have to do carnivore, and if I'm not doing carnivore, then I'm wrong.
How many conversations have we had with people who know that we do keto or carnivore, and they start talking to us, and they go, within a few minutes of talking to us, they go, I got to be honest, I'm really relieved because I thought you guys would be like all the other keto carnivore people that I've talked to, where you were going to be super strict and judgmental and everything. Like, because I'm not into that, and that's all I've experienced, and I thought you were going to be the same, but you guys are really different. How many times has that happened?
Like, every day of my life. And it breaks my heart, though, because it's like, I think that just means that you have to realize all these people are hurt and they're desperate and they're looking for answers.
Yeah.
And essentially there's not a lot of communities out there or a lot of people that are welcoming where it's like, you can come here to any live stream and ask a question and we'll happily answer for you. It doesn't matter if it's basic or simple. And if it's something that we don't know, well, then we're going to point you to the right person because we're here to help people and share our own health journey and our own experiences. It's like we're not here for egos. We're way past that.
Absolutely. I love this. John says, my alcohol goes towards deglazing pans after searing meat.
And that's a good thing.
That's a great way to do it because it's like, are you going to get a tiny little bit of carbs from that? Yes, most of that alcohol cooks off. It's a little tiny bit of carbs, but it's great flavor.
Good flavors.
And it's like, it's awesome. So there's his 98.6% carnivore.
I think that's awesome, though.
I think it's fantastic. Adam says, carnivore has saved my life, and you have helped me with your recipes. I appreciate that, Adam.
So sweet.
Mary at Greek Carnivores here says, thank you, Ash, for your honesty. You're both amazing. You're amazing,
Thank
Mary.
you, Mary.
We
You're
appreciate
very,
that.
very sweet.
Sherry says, as you know, Chris Cooking Nashville and Ash, someone's comment about this very thing set me off the other day. It was hard, but my response was as polite as I could say to correct the dude.
Yeah.
I get it, and that's the thing. Sherry's a good example of someone who, she's not trying to get in everybody's business. She's just out toting around on the internet.
She's doing her thing.
And suddenly comments are getting directed at her too. And she's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, knock that crap off.
Yeah. Sherry.
It's why we do what we do.
Exactly. Sherry's awesome, man.
Yep. Martha says, my why is my health. Had several surgeries over the years, gained a lot of weight in the process, now trying to get health again. So I can spend time with grandchildren, playing and enjoying life.
Exactly. And so, Martha, you do the version of the proper human diet that works for you. We're here to encourage and support you. And you focus on playing with your grandbabies. And if someone says, Martha, you're doing it wrong, tell them to shove it.
Absolutely.
That's where you tell them.
That's right. Joe Blow says, I drink 1 cup of coffee every morning, only drink alcohol once or twice a year, 1 glass of whiskey, and that's it.
Nice.
And that's great. And that sounds like that works for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
John has a question. Has anyone tried using a vibration plate? I'm going to try it and see what it does. Just ordered one. I should get it today or tomorrow. So I think that's for the whole...
was it Kelly Hogan?
Kelly Hogan was talking about that with your lymphatic system and draining and like getting the junk out. I think it's a great idea to give it a shot if you can afford one. I've never tried it, but report back to us, John.
Yeah, let us know what you think, man.
Yeah, maybe somebody else here has an answer for it.
We need to get one.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Peggy says, yum, give me steak.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
Love it. Let's see. Joe Below says, I personally don't care how others eat. It's about what works for you. Absolutely,
Joe. Come on, yeah.
Deanna is here. Hi from Minnesota.
Hey.
D. Marie here.
Hi. So glad
Good
you're
to
here.
see you. Christine says, OMG, carnivore biscuits.
Oh, y'all don't even know.
They're going to be good.
Y'all don't even know.
Caleb says, ooh, biscuits. I love biscuits. I'm sure yours will be the best. Well, I hope so.
I think they're amazing. I mean, that's the thing. You guys have to realize back before we really were doing keto and carnivore and all this stuff, I mean, Chris owned a bakery. I mean, like, the man made the best biscuits I have ever had in my life. I mean, the CCN recipes are so incredible and so good. I think part of that is because he owned a bakery before.
I'm very picky about stuff.
Very picky. And these biscuits are just pure. They are so good, guys.
They're just great.
They're amazing.
They're great.
Yeah.
They really are. Lynn says those biscuits are as big as your head. Yum. That's right.
That's what we call a Chris-size biscuit.
That's right. John says, I know I post it all the time, but it's effective. Tell the carnivore cops. You're not a real carnivore either. I've never seen a lion cook or salt their meat. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Come
right.
on. Definitely.
Fran is here. Says, I make egg cottage cheese with a little almond flour pancakes.
Nice.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Hey, if that works for you, you've got it on lock. You've got it figured out. Good for you. John says, definitely looking forward to some biscuits and gravy.
Oh, yeah, man.
It was good.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was good. We already did the taste test for it, so I can tell you it was good.
Yeah.
Caleb says, after March, I'll be trying more recipes. That's
Sweet,
awesome, man.
Awesome.
Brian says, Chris, you help people have varieties on whatever diet they choose to follow. What you are doing is way better than the sad diet foods. And that's
Thank you, Brian.
And that's what I'm trying to, figure out.
Yeah.
Christine says, need defined by carnivore biscuits.
I feel that.
Joe Blow says, you two are beautiful people, Chris and Ash.
Aw, thank you so much, Joe. We love you.
Yeah. Oh, there's our friend Nighthawk.
Hey.
Hello, how are you?
So
hello, Ash and Chris. Good to see you, my friend. John says, I love meat, salt, water, just not all the time.
Just not all the time.
I'm the same. What did we have for dinner? Was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
We had meat patties.
Yeah, what did I have for dinner?
Oh, dude, he had meat.
Like 2.5 pounds of ground beef?
Yeah, I had... Oh, wait, call the car, please. So I had meat patties, which were seasoned with just salt, I believe is what you put on those.
Salt, and I put a little bit of pepper.
Oh, gosh. And then I had a salad. It was absolutely delicious. I really enjoyed it. And then he had, just meat.
Yes.
Like a big plate of meat. And it was awesome. It was super cool. I loved it.
Absolutely. It was great.
Yep.
Russ and Peggy are here. Says, I love being ketovore. Yeah, being ketovore is great. And if it makes you feel good,
we're here for
awesome.
That's awesome.
Paula says, you guys, better than any expert, better than a therapist, and best at humanity. I love you both.
Well,
Paula, we love you.
You're so sweet.
Our community is so great, guys.
They really are.
Really, really is. Martha says, everyone needs to do what works best for them. God put us on his green earth to help each other, not to judge one another.
Amen. Amen, Martha.
Bobby says, I can't find your video for the carnivore biscuits. That's because it's not released yet. I still have to edit it. So that is just the thumbnail. That is coming out this coming Saturday.
Yep,
so it will go live Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep.
Thank you for checking it out, Bobby.
And that's this Saturday, which is the 15th.
The 15th.
At 9 a.m. Central Standard.
It's going to be a game changer, y'all. Get ready.
I'm so excited.
Yes. John says ketovore is a nice balance. That's what I do, too. I agree.
It's awesome.
Totally agree. Julia is here, says, we love what you do. Thank you for the creativity with foods. Well, thank you for watching, Julia.
Very sweet.
Yogi says, I just joined, but not sure how it works yet, but absolutely have enjoyed listening to you all. Well, yeah, Yogi. So if you go in the group, because she just joined the private community.
Gotcha.
If you go in the group, over on the left-hand side, there's like a little, it's like 3 lines you click or you tap on your phone or whatever. It drops down a menu. There's different spaces in there, and each one, based on the name, will tell you what's in there. Excuse me. So you can go to each of those spaces to see different things. You can go find members. You can message them. There's a feed that's like a members feed you can post in every day to say hi. Any of that kind of stuff. And if you have questions, you just shoot me a message and you let me know.
Yeah.
So
we're glad you're there, though.
Really glad to have you there.
Yeah, we love it, man. There's so many great people. And the other cool thing, too, is like...
Excuse me.
Let it out.
Allergies, y'all, killing me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's getting that time of year where it's been real wet. Now it's warming up. And so, we're going to be like, for weeks. Yeah. Look at how many people are asking if the biscuits are all right.
Yeah, John wants to know if the biscuits are out. Yep, so that's coming out the 15th, coming Saturday.
So you guys are telling me you're excited about the biscuits? Because you should be, because they're amazing.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
I told Chris that he needed to do a video with them, kind of like a collaboration video with, what is it, Moose and... Tracks and Moose or Moose and whatever.
I can't remember, something like that.
People are probably like, what the hell they're talking about? Yeah. We're crazy.
Just go to Google and type in Taste the Goodness of the Biscuit. You're
welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy the laugh.
See. True Essentials Homestead is here. Hi, guys. Been absent for a while. Life. Ready to get back in the swing of things. Well, we're glad you're here. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Haley says, be a Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes. Be a Jeff. Mm-hmm. Casey says, I don't have any money to give you, but keep up the good work. That's fine, Casey. You ain't got to give me any money. That's why I do all these videos. Here's what you do. Mm-hmm. Watch my videos. Okay? Go to the channel. Go to the playlists.
Yeah.
Turn on autoplay.
Yeah.
Start at the top video. Let it play. Turn the volume down on your computer. Okay, don't do it in the YouTube app, because if you mute it in the YouTube app, it doesn't see that you're watching a video. Leave the YouTube volume turned up, but turn your speaker volume on your computer down, and just walk away and let that play all day. That is a free way that you can help me get in the algorithm, help me spread the message. It'll play some ads, and I get paid for those, fine. Doesn't cost you a dime, but it's a way you support what I'm doing. And it is awesome. And it's fine. You don't have any money to donate. That is not a problem. We
not
love
a requirement.
you. We love you regardless of whether you send money or not. That is not what makes us care.
Yeah.
So, Casey, we are very glad you're a part of the community, and we appreciate your support. Just that you're watching and commenting.
Yes.
That makes all the difference for us.
Thank you, Casey.
I love this. John says to Yogi, the basic formula is get hungry, eat fatty meat or meat byproducts till you're full, repeat.
Yeah.
There
That's
we
awesome,
go.
John. I love that.
That's it. And there's Auntie dropping in Keto Simple's link for everybody. Please go subscribe to Dustin. He's that close.
That close.
Cheryl is here. Cheryl, I believe, is also in our community. Says, you've given me a new perspective today. I've been so focused on how I'm not doing carnivore right. I need to change my mindset. And that's great, Cheryl. And you know what? You'll figure out what carnivore being right for you is as you do it longer.
Yeah.
And you'll figure out what makes you feel good. It's not about what's right for the black and white overarching. It's what's right for your body to feel good while doing carnivore. There's some basic concepts that work for everyone. Too many carbs make you sick. Too many grains inflame your body. Grains really in general inflame your body, right? Processed junk and chemicals and sugar and coloring and all that stuff, not good for you because it's not food. Beyond that, there's a whole spectrum you get to play with of how is it going to work best for you.
Yeah.
And that's it. It is really that simple. So you just do your thing, and if we can help you, Cheryl, you let us know. You're doing great.
Yeah,
You're doing great. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just learning. And that's what we're all doing.
And we've all been there.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Sigma Carnivore SE is here. I am so thankful for the encouragement you all gave me a couple of weeks ago. I'm now 2 weeks without soda and without sweets.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
good for you.
That is amazing. Rock on, SE. Good job.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here and do what we do.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Because that's a real thing.
Yep.
Nighthawk says, update. My wife has been on the carnivore diet since 2/14/25. She's lost 9 pounds.
Yeah.
The thing is that she is disabled from severe rheumatoid arthritis. Mostly stays in bed, but does use a floor pedaler for exercise.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And here's the deal. So with things like rheumatoid arthritis or other kinds of inflammatory conditions, as she is on carnivore longer, that may start to improve. If not, you can try cutting back dairy.
Yeah.
Try cutting back spices and see if that makes a difference. So Pastor Bob's mom, 95 years old, struggles with arthritis. They put her on Lion diet, meat, salt, water, and her arthritis cleared up. And now she's leaning back in the direction of ketovore because she's figuring out what things do make that arthritis worse and what things don't. So as your wife gets more used to carnivore, maybe you can then go really strict carnivore, not because being strict is the right way, but because being strict as an elimination diet can maybe help clear up the rheumatoid arthritis or at least improve it. And then after like 30, 60, 90 days, whatever, you start adding things back in. And if she eats something and within a day or two it flares, okay, that's a no-go because that makes my arthritis flare.
Right.
So then you can learn how do you tweak her version of carnivore to improve her arthritis, or maybe reverse it entirely depending on how bad it is. I don't know. But people have seen things like this completely go away, even when they were bedbound. So I don't know what level of improvement she will or won't get, but who knows? There is all kinds of hope for the future of her having an improved life because of carnivore.
Yeah.
How cool is this, right?
Pretty
And
awesome.
if she's losing weight, that means she's losing things that cause inflammation in her body. Keep at it. It's gonna just keep getting better. That's awesome, Nighthawk. I'm so glad that she is experiencing such great things. And we will be praying for that rheumatoid arthritis to respond to the carnivore.
Absolutely.
Barbara says, you guys are two of the best.
Oh, thank you, Barbara. We love you, Barbara. You are so awesome.
Let's see. Christine says, thank you, Auntie. Followed the link. Excellent. John says, Yogi, you can work out specifics and ways to improve as you go. Absolutely. I love this, Juliana. Matthew 25:40. Truly I tell you, whatsoever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Which is why we are here to help people, and we love you guys.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's a good one.
Dr. Singleton is here. What a way to go, Essie. Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Dr. Singleton.
John says, there's the biscuits.
Aw.
Caleb says that his mom thanks us all.
Aw, very sweet.
Lacey says, I'm making pancakes right now for my son. Guess I'm not a carny carnivore touching flour. I'd rather him eat homemade pancakes than that garbage in the freezer section.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That is one step in the right direction. Right? Is the flour good for you? No. Is it better than the pre-made stuff in the freezer section that's full of seed oils and chemicals? Yes. One step, one more step, day by day. And don't be beating people up because they're not already at the end of that journey.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it.
Yeah.
Auntie tells everyone to go follow Caleb. Yes, please do.
Yeah, Caleb's awesome. I know, I saw it.
Yep. Guys, this right here is what I'm talking about. So, Coyotes Incorporated, one, doesn't understand that between the two of us, we've lost 230 pounds. Coyotes Incorporated also apparently thinks I don't own a mirror and can't see the extra weight that I have to lose. And Coyotes Incorporated is an ignorant ass.
Yep. And therefore...
And this right here is exactly what I'm talking about, because no one, including the two of us, deserves for somebody to say things like this. Because this is what it means to be an insensitive, egotistical, self-absorbed human being that thinks beating other people up for the fact they're not already at the end of the journey is the right way to get there.
And he says, these things you two eat obviously affect you because you're both extremely overweight. So again, if we have lost 200 plus pounds between the two of us, last night we just shared with you that we ate burger patties. Chris had about 2 pounds of ground beef.
Yep.
I had burger patties and a salad. So that's what makes us overweight, you know, my friend.
Yep.
So again, someone that doesn't know your story, someone that apparently thinks that you're big, tough shit, would like to come in this comment section and say that, you can kiss my ass, and please unsubscribe from this channel.
That's right.
Because we don't need that. Our community doesn't need that.
Yep.
And I would like to pray for you, genuinely. And I'd like for you to go look in the mirror. And I want you to go get a job. Or go figure out what you can do with your time other than come in here and say things like that to go help the world and make it a better place.
Yep.
Get that off the screen. I don't...
Coyotes Incorporated, thank you very much. I hope that is sufficiently embarrassing for you. And I hope you go change, because you're being trashy right now. So
very, just class act, man. Class act.
Good for you.
Class act.
Good for you. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. And I understand you guys don't realize this. I get dozens of these a week. Dozens of these a week.
Yeah.
And so if I'm getting that, I know all of these people out there are getting this in their own lives too.
Yeah.
And that's why I stand for what I do.
And this also, this is a really good point. If our friend Mr. Coyote over there would have come on and said, hey guys, I'm new to your channel. I've never seen his name before.
Yep.
So, it's like, okay, I'm assuming you're new. So it's like, if you come on and you're like, so how much weight have you both lost? What's your story? What's the deal?
Yep.
Then if you're like, you both seem like you still have weight to lose, so I'm not quite understanding this, right? That's a very different approach, and to where you can maybe understand that, but that's a very ignorant thing to say. Also, like, did he not just hear what we had for dinner? So if we're eating meat,
what am I eating that's wrong?
What am I eating that's wrong?
Right.
There's no common sense in that, and it's like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yep.
It just doesn't.
John says you need to see the before pics.
I agree.
Correct.
I agreed. Yeah.
Absolutely. Auntie says, by the way, this auntie as of last Tuesday is now a great auntie. My oldest nephew and wife had a baby boy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dr. Singleton says, wow, Nighthawk, know the fight. That's amazing. Pray for her total healing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. That's so cool.
A work in progress is here. I love that. A work in progress. We all are.
That's awesome.
If we're truthful, nobody is in this world. Our ancestors were. Love your content.
That's awesome.
Love it. Wow, so we just had repeated things from Coyotes Inc. That's really good. You support each other's delusions about your diet and weight. No, I support the fact that my wife is a beautiful human being, and apparently that's something you don't understand, because...
Also, Coyotes Incorporated, if you feel like you don't agree with us, and if you feel like me supporting my husband and my husband supporting me, and you don't understand our journey together of losing our home, losing our jobs, regaining our health together, building businesses together, doing all this stuff. So you don't know who we are, you don't know what's going on. And if you're here and if you disagree with what we're doing, then why are you taking the time right now to come on and start an argument? So I'm so sorry, but we're going to hide you from the channel.
Yep.
I hope you go get your life together and go do something with it. But I do not have time for this, because right now we have a community that are watching that need help.
That's right.
And I have some women that I need to go mentor that are at the heaviest they've ever been, that they need this information.
That's
and
right.
you're the type of person we don't want around.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that I was nice to the people who have extra weight and try to relate to people who have been through things like sexual assault and bulimia and, considering suicide and all of that stuff. I'm sorry that I'm not, good enough for you to think that I can help people, coyotes, but screw off.
Yeah.
There we go. Just Claire Marie is here, says, good afternoon from England. We're all on our own carnivore, keto, etc. journeys. However, we're doing it. It's better than being on the standard junk diet.
Very true.
Amen.
Very true.
John says, you have described a thought or belief. What do you really feel? I like that.
John's on it, man.
Yep. A work in progress is everyone wants to be for some reason, but it's hard in this day and age. Feeling great here on a meat-based diet. Thank you for your great content. Found you on Dr. Barry's community. Nisha recommended you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm so glad.
That's amazing. So glad you're here.
Yeah. Jeff C. is here, says, can't wait to meet you, Chris, at Meatstock 2025.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jeff, we really look forward to meeting you guys. If you guys didn't know, we're going to be at Meatstock. I'm presenting, and I'm probably going to be cooking in the cabins.
Yes.
And we're going to be hanging out, and we're going to be like face to face with people.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the URL is just Meatstock 2025. I think.
Yeah.
If people want to grab tickets,
or I think so. They might be sold out now. I can't remember.
I think there might be some for the conference.
There might be. I can't remember for sure. But if not, there's going to be one in 2026 already. I know they're planning that. So. Guys, make sure to be on the lookout for that.
For sure.
That'd be cool.
I know if you guys head to Chris's website, by the way, chriscookingnashville.com, there are links to Meatstock if you guys want to learn more, whether you attend this year, next year. But it's going to be excited. We're looking forward to meeting you, Jeff.
Yes, it's going to be great. Juju B is here real quick. Says, checking in from lunch break at school. I'll probably have classes again by the time you get to me.
Nice.
Well, that's all right. We're glad you're here, Juju.
Yes, we love you, Juju B.
Work in progress. You two are amazing.
Oh, well, you're amazing. We're so glad you're here.
Auntie says time change. I live in California, but was in Ohio for the time change, and then flew back home 4 hours on Sunday. I may have become a time lady.
Yeah, that's a lot, Auntie. I'm so sorry.
Villanova is here. Says, good afternoon from Fort Lauderdale. Listening to you while at work, hoping no one will interrupt. Well, I'll appreciate that.
Thank you, Billy. So glad you're here.
I believe this is Debbie. Purple Lovin' Nana is here. Better late than not at all. We'll watch replay later for what I missed. Well, thank you so much.
We're so glad that you're here. Thank you.
Yes. A work in progress is coming here from Canada. We love American friends.
Oh, we love our Canadian friends.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We're so glad that you're here.
Absolutely.
I love this. Christina is here, says, I find that meals that Chris puts out have been helpful to keep me on my keto carnivore journey, and I appreciate all the hard work that he has put into every recipe. Well, thank you, Christina. I'm glad it's helpful. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Martha says, morning, Nighthawk. I'm also disabled. Please tell her to stick with it. She will be amazed with the results to her health in time.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Martha. That's encouraging.
Yep, absolutely. Nana also says, woohoo, no hats today. That's right.
We washed our hair for you.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. We don't do it a whole lot. It's because we're filming after this, and we have a guest taste tester coming over today.
They'll be here in a little bit, too.
Yep, so. Terry is on her way. Woo-hoo. So Peggy says, most definitely very motivating. I'm going to listen again this afternoon, streaming it to our TV. Keep up the excellent work.
Oh, thank you, Peggy. I'm so glad.
John says, many teens need carnivore or keto for the mental health benefits alone. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're not right.
Christine is looking forward to the biscuits because she would love to have some biscuits and gravy.
Yeah,
I got it coming. I got it coming for you.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly says, okay, I'm curious to know, why do you think that you're not a real carnivore? Is it just because you use a spice or eat something not quite carnivore? I'm 2 weeks carnivore. I eat cheese. Kelly, it's a great question. So it is a facetious statement of not being a real carnivore because other people who are stricter than me and eat meat, salt, water say I'm not a real carnivore. So I'm not a real carnivore, but I'm absolutely a real carnivore. It is the really screwed up definition that some people use as a way to look down on other people that says I'm not a, quote, real carnivore. You're eating cheese, you're doing great.
Yeah. Again,
awesome.
As long as it's working for you.
Yeah, and maybe in time you'll find that the cheese is not as supporting your health as you would like it to be, and you'll choose to cut that out. Or maybe you won't. But either way, it sounds to me like you're doing great.
Yeah.
And if you are 2 weeks in,
really
good
exciting.
for you.
Yeah.
Keep at it, Kelly. Good job. Yes.
So awesome.
John says, I wish they'd freeze the clocks where they are and stay on daylight savings time forever.
Dude, John, me too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says, dude, did you not see Chris and Ash's before pics? Please don't screw with our mojo. We're all having a fun morning.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying, though, guys. It's like that. Okay, we get emails all the time where it's like people say they can't wait till we both die.
Yes.
And like all this. And it's not that we're complaining or whatever, but like we're just trying to have a good time. We're having a live stream, like everything's good. And that's the kind of stuff that you get. And so that's why I think we're talking about this, though. And we just don't ignore it and hide it. But it's like, do you see how dumb that was?
Right. It's so dumb. Like, and this is why I want all of you to be prepared in case you hear this kind of stuff, you see it online, you get told this in your life. Be prepared for it. Yeah. And then just be like, this is so stupid. But understand you're not alone in dealing with it, right? I mean, look at what Ash and I do, and we deal with it constantly.
Yeah.
Nisha deals with this kind of stuff. People ridicule her all the time for not being a carnivore or not knowing what carnivore is, and she's like, do you know who I'm married to?
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Also, we were going to talk about this, and then we got busy and forgot, but we were talking about already what we ate, and our friend Coyote, who was basically saying that we're both fat and whatever.
Right.
Coyote Incorporated. I did lose another pound, and in the course of 3 months, I've actually been working out 4 times a week, and I've lost a total of 4 inches around my thighs. And also, so again, if you would just like to kiss my ass, I would really appreciate it.
You'll have to lean in a little further because it's gotten smaller.
Yeah. That was good. That was good. Honey, you got a sense of humor. I
got
like
something.
That.
I got
Is
something.
Is that my good friend Holly?
That's Holly Springer.
I love Holly.
I totally agree with both of you. I don't push keto or carnivore in my family or friends. I encourage them to get away from processed foods. Absolutely.
And Holly, that's so great, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. and it makes a difference. I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like if you have someone who's on a standard American diet that's eating, 3 meals a day plus snacks, and it's all processed, just all this and that. It's like if you just got them to literally just knock that stuff out, think of how much better their health is improving.
Yes.
And you don't think they're going to feel a difference and then go, well, wait, maybe I should go a little further and a little further and a little further.
Right.
So
Auntie has been a member on the YouTube channel here for 3 months.
Aww.
And it says, three months of so much wisdom. Also, thank you for teaching us how to respond to trolls like Coyote. I left it for that purpose.
Aww,
yes.
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate that very much because that's the thing. I don't want to focus on negativity. But sometimes we have to admit that these things exist, and we've got to be able to figure out how to respond. Because there are times you're going to need to know it. Believe me, I deal with it dozens of times a week.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to be empowered to not have to let someone like that make you feel like you're doing it wrong.
And what's hard, too, is
the important part.
This is like a stranger we've never met, which is one thing. But we also, at first, and I mean, I'm sure you guys get this, sometimes it's people
Friends
you're really close to that you can't just block and hide from a channel.
Right.
Sometimes that's a lot more personal. It hurts.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Becky Lou's here, says, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Becky.
Emily is tuning in live during class for the algorithm. Can't wait to listen to the replay. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. You're so sweet.
Let's see. Juliana says, by the way, this is my first live. That's awesome. We're so glad you're here, Juliana. I know I see your name all the time, but it's awesome that you're here with us live today.
Yeah.
John says, I'm ketovore, around 90% meat and meat byproducts with keto-friendly veg, sauces, and an occasional keto chow treat.
Good for you, John. That's awesome, man.
Caleb says, I tell people I eat carnivore because I like talking about it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you're just talking about it, like, that's amazing.
Nothing wrong with that.
Renata is here, says,
Hello.
new here, can you please recommend a good quality of an egg white powder? Yes, it's tough right now. I used to get Now brand, but they started adding sunflower lecithin, which for some recipes it still works, but if you're using a recipe where you need to whip that egg white powder, it can keep it from whipping for people. So what I would recommend you do, so Judy's is a brand that I've used before that I know is really good. Any brand you want to use usually is fine, but what you need to do is before you buy it, read the ingredient list. So go online, Amazon, something like that. Look at the one that it's like, okay, price-wise, I can afford that. Look at the ingredients list and make sure the only ingredient is egg whites. You want freeze-dried egg whites. If it's anything else in there, they're adding stuff to it, and it may or may not work right. So anything that is just egg whites and nothing else, and you should be good to go. And you can find a bunch of different brands and, find something that financially you can get. So I sort of bounce through different ones trying them right now. I haven't found a real consistently good one to recommend just yet because Now brand that I used to recommend, messed it all up. So, but that's why you have to read the ingredients list every time you go to buy it. Just got to make sure, because they'll change on you.
Right.
So, Jenny is here. Says, my mom is 90. She has seen how I've been able to lose weight, but she says my diet is too restrictive for her. I think at 90, she should eat whatever she wants. And that's the deal.
Yeah.
At 90 years old, ain't nobody going to tell you what to do.
That's got to be a decision she needs to make.
That's right. That's right. My grandpa was 94 when he passed away. You think you were going to change the way that man ate?
No, he ate that way for 94 years.
He's going to do whatever he wants. He didn't care what you thought.
Yeah.
You know? So, you just got to work with people. You know? And if you can encourage her politely to maybe increase her protein and animal fat and reduce her carb count, great. But if she doesn't want to do it, you ain't going to make her do it, and that's okay. You know? She's 90 years old. What are you going to do? Love her where she is. That's all you can do. You know? Shirley says, love and light. Greetings from Medic Shirley Girl, Beaver Lodge, Alberta, Canada. -7. I'm grateful for you both. Well, we're grateful for you, Shirley. I always love seeing your name pop up.
Yes, you're a sweetheart.
And Janelle is exactly right. Just read the ingredient list. The only ingredient should be the egg whites.
That's right.
That's correct.
Yes.
Juju says, I just had a lovely chat with some 4th graders. You two don't have to be friends, but you do have to be friendly.
Oh, I love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
John says, at the moment I'm watching on CCN Studio and chatting on the CCN Original channel. I liked both. Thank you, John. So much.
Super kind, super helpful.
John has a great question. Is egg white powder cooked or raw eggs? I've heard some bad things about raw egg whites. So, John, the egg whites are usually freeze-dried, so they're not cooked. But when you mix them into one of my recipes, they get cooked anyway. So, yeah. And I think, you got to be careful with raw egg whites, of course. That, Dr. Berry did a video about the anti-nutrients of egg whites. It's a minimal thing, but it may be a real thing for some people. But it's also a thing of how many raw egg whites are you really getting? If you're getting a lot of them, it's maybe an issue. If you're getting a minimal amount, like in my butter mayo or something, it's probably not that big of a deal. But, each person is different. So, but if you're using the egg white powder, if you're putting it in recipes, it's getting cooked in those recipes, so it's not a problem. So, yeah, the cooking it is what fixes that for the people who are super sensitive to that.
Good to know.
Becky says, please keep me in your prayers. I've been battling metabolic syndrome Hashimoto's. I started Carnivore in July and have lost weight, but all thyroid blood work is off. Becky Lou, you need to go look at Nisha on her channel on YouTube. Maybe consider joining the private community that Dr. Berry has and work with Nisha's information, because she also has Hashimoto's and she has a bunch of information about how you can do all of the things necessary to try to control that Hashimoto's with your diet. So she has amazing info, and she struggles with the exact same thing, but she is basically symptom free and totally under control just on diet. No medication or anything. So
we'll definitely be praying for you in addition, though, and please come back and let us know exactly what's going on.
Yep, absolutely. CB Carmack is here, says a new channel name idea for another channel, basing it on outdoor cooking for you and Ash. Chris Smoking Asheville. Love it.
Pretty cool. I love it.
My mom was able to pop in a while ago, says having a sub for a Japanese art teacher today, and am now in prep period. Well, hello.
Hello.
Carrie says the thing I have to worry about if I get into the food service that I would have to eat and taste the food I would cook, and hopefully that it wouldn't mess with me. Yeah, and here's the deal. A tiny taste is different than eating it. And it's a self-control thing at that point. So hopefully, I understand that can be tough. So hopefully, you will be good to go. Juju says, music therapy long-term sub here for emotionally disturbed and autistic kiddos. I'm on lunch. John says, dehydrated would cook them while dehydrating them unless it's freeze-dried. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. So, let's see if there's any questions here. Auntie says, I may have gone a little off plan last long weekend off on a trip. Just shopped via Instacart and restart the Antivore way. I like that.
Antivore way.
I love that.
That's so cute. I love that too. That's awesome.
John says, no cheat days for me. The most I do is a cheat meal on special occasions. And I think that's smart. If you're going to cheat, quote unquote, or have an off-plan meal, do one meal and then go right back to what you do.
Good for you.
So I usually, if I've done that, I don't do it very often, but the times I have, it's usually dinner, and then I fast the next day until the next dinner, which is super heavy carnivore, like meat and eggs. And that's what keeps me under control. So Violet says, I suppose that would depend on the manufacturer, but I believe Chris cooks most of the recipes he uses egg white powder in. I have an allergy and I would not eat it without cooking personally. Yep. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and everybody's different, so I love it.
Yeah.
Villanova says, I've been strict carnivore for 3 weeks, but since yesterday I feel lightheaded. What might be the reason? Well, there's a lot of things, and I'm not a doctor, so I can't really give you much info on this, and we don't do any medical advice, but just some things. I know for me, when I first went carnivore, I had to settle out some because as your blood pressure starts to change, as all that inflammation comes out, you might be having some issues there. So I would suggest you up your electrolytes. Make sure you're staying hydrated and have plenty of electrolytes. That might help you. That's what helped me. So
yeah,
that's just my 2 cents.
I also would say, I'm wondering how much fat you're getting in your day.
Are you getting enough fat?
Are you getting enough fat? That's, again, we're not doctor's mental thing, but maybe electrolytes and maybe up your fat a little bit and see if that helps.
Yep.
For something with me, I think is like you're settling out. Sometimes I just found extra fat helped keep me satiated, kept levels and all up a little bit. So try that, but come back and let us know.
Yep. And there's Yogi saying the same thing about the electrolytes. Yep. It's great. John says supposedly raw egg whites have some anti-nutrient qualities, blocks us from absorbing vitamins and minerals. Yeah, Dr. Barry did a cool video on that. And again, I think it's kind of like how much of an issue is it? It maybe varies person to person. It depends on how much you're really getting. So.
Yeah.
But it's good information and definitely something to consider.
Absolutely.
John says YouTube algorithm isn't great at reading the room.
No, they're definitely not. Definitely
not. Let's see. Steve's Projects is here, says, sorry I've been in and out of the conversation, taking my son to a procedure, so I agree with your assessment. Ketovore for the long haul.
Oh, good. Yeah. We're glad you're here. Hopefully the procedure goes well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And there's Aunt Donna.
Hi,
Wallflower
Donna.
is here. I'm a carb addict. Sugar is my carb of choice. When I eat carbs of any kind, it will take me 2 weeks minimum of 0 carbs to get rid of the intense cravings. I'm almost there, thanks to you guys.
Aww.
I totally get it, and that's the thing. I used to be the exact same way, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. Lacey says, I picked the oatmeal because I didn't want to take an over-the-counter medication. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a good point. Kind of picking between the least of two evils, maybe, but doing the best you can.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely. Rick says, just learn to cook on your engine. Well, if you guys haven't seen it, Rick cooks on his car engines and stuff all the time. It's really cool.
It's pretty impressive, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Really cool. Whoa. So, Penny is here. Says, I recently discovered Dr. William Davis. Very enlightening regarding the gut. Cool.
Oh, well, good to know. I like it.
Very, very cool. CB says, addressing best missed question just in case. Are you drinking water with your meal? If so, try to wait drinking a while before and after a meal. Will dilute your acid. You need to break down meat. So, yeah, that's something I've heard. Some people don't drink water the same time as they're eating because they find better digestion. So, might be something to try.
Yeah.
Catherine says, I bought a sugar-free 4-net carb cake mix. My plan is to make a poke cake in a mug with sugar-free pudding so I'm not tempted to eat my hubby's Little Debbie's. Y'all are great. And you know what? That's great. If that tool helps you, go for it. Amazing.
Yeah.
Jenny says, I've been eating low carb and no sugar for many years. I went off this way of eating while on vacation, and boy, could I tell a difference. The sugar made me tired and irritable.
Yeah.
Yep, and it'll do that to you.
It really will.
It will definitely do that to you. Mm-hmm. Nighthawk is going to share Dr. Singleton's comment with their wife. That's awesome.
That's amazing. I love that.
John says, I saw a really interesting video showing McDonald's cooking their burgers. Frozen patties on a dry grill, covered, flipped, then add salt and pepper and stack them up. About 90 seconds total.
Yeah?
Yep. That's one of the reasons that burger patties from McDonald's, as much as I don't like any of the other stuff, it's good in a pinch.
It works, yeah. We get by.
Yep. Violet says, I can have 90% dark chocolate with no issue, but broccoli takes me out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Understand. Again, though, it's like, well, what works for you? Like, how does your body react to that? So it's all different, man. All different.
Absolutely. Jenny says, I think a lot of restaurants do fairly well accommodating patrons with dietary needs. Don't feel like you can't ask them for specific food items or a way to prepare them. Absolutely. That's kind of their thing, is they have to sort of be careful with allergies and accommodations and stuff. So if you are honest with them about, like, I can't do blah, 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 usually they can come up with something.
Yeah, they want you to have a good experience. I mean, it just makes sense, right?
Yep, absolutely. Villanova says, my birthday is coming soon. My sister is throwing a party for me, but I told her that I am bringing the cake, which I will make sure is keto and homemade.
That's awesome.
There you go. That's great.
Yes. That's really cool. I love that.
That is absolutely great. Thera98 is here. Just made 2 more loaves of your carnivore bread and going to use it to make eggs Benedict.
Ooh,
awesome.
Yum. That sounds really good.
Very, very cool. The Hillbilly Hermit is here, says, every once in a while, everyone needs a reminder why they choose keto and carnivore.
Agreed. I love your name, by the way. It's
yes,
hilarious.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, that's a great goatee you got going on there, man. That's
like
awesome.
it, man. Like it.
It looks very well groomed.
Yeah.
I like that. Chargers Mopar says, Luke 15:16-31 reminds me of people craving junk food. Yeah, that's cool. Ecuador Husker is here. Good morning from Ecuador. I've been 100% carnivore except the last few months where I cheat with a handful of peanuts now and then. Love your channel. Well, thank you so much.
So glad that you're here.
And that's great. And I'm glad you're doing so well with carnivore. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Marilda is here. Hi, Marilda. Says,
hey.
John, Big Man Carnivore, bought a whole Knife Saga knife set. Love my knife. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Knife Saga is awesome. John was actually talking with me about that on Facebook the other day.
Yep.
So I knew he was looking to upgrade. I didn't know he'd already gotten it, so that's great.
Yeah.
Auntie says, following Cranky, remembering to ask for meal accommodations, also being polite and kind to the chefs.
Yes,
yes,
Auntie,
because
for
we want to be kind and encourage people.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. Stacy and Ken are here. Says,
Hi.
I've always said I do Stacy Keto, and that was why Women's World magazine featured me on the cover back in May 2023. Mm-hmm. You have to do what works for you. I went from sad to dirty keto to now ketovore. That's amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Love that.
Just doing what works for you and being
Stacy,
successful.
you and Ken are awesome. You
Y'all
guys
are the best. Really are, yeah.
Lori says, your perspective is amazing. I'm similar to Chris in my way of eating. I do what works for me. I stay more carnivore focused because it eliminates food cravings and disordered eating. And I love that. That's great, Lori, and we're so glad you're here.
Awesome.
Emily says, I had a part of a bite of a Sam's cookie cake for my twin's birthday on Saturday. It tasted like a sugar cube that had been sitting near paint thinner. I'm still walking funny today because of bloat. Yeah.
Aww.
And that's the thing, you start to realize, like, stuff is not as good as we remember it being.
Yeah. When
you change your whole mindset, like, you realize,
you go back to
like,
eating it, you're like, yeah, that's not worth it.
Yeah, it really wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. John says, Fog a Mirror, Dr. Barry's hilarious.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Blue Diamond Bill is here. Says, just tuning in from Fort Worth, Texas. Dude, that is a majestic beard you got going on.
Welcome, friend.
That
glad
is
you're
beautiful.
here.
Yeah, we're glad you're here, my friend. Choosing to Live One is here. Says, I really dislike eating out now. I just enjoy real food from my own kitchen. I found a hamburger or steak is my best bet when eating out. Yeah, we very rarely eat out, and when we do, we've got like 2 places we go.
Yep.
It's very rare we eat out.
Yeah.
So Jenny says, my husband and I eat ketovore and don't eat out much. We are retired and on a fixed income. We keep our meals simple and eat just twice a day. And that's great. Good for you. You make it work, right?
Yeah, if it works for you guys, awesome. It's a way to do it.
Mary Lito is here. Love your channel. At age 79, I'm primarily carnivore and have lost over 160 pounds.
Oh, rock on.
That is
awesome,
amazing.
Mary.
Fantastic.
So
there it goes. There's our rock on for Mary.
Yeah.
We're so glad you're here, Mary. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
John says, I still like eating at buffets as long as they have a few keto or ketovore-friendly options. Pizza buffets are great. Just strip the toppings if they won't make a crustless pizza for you. There you go.
There you go. That's awesome, man. Good tip.
Dennis the Menace is here. Love the name. 55 years old. Suffered 2 heart attacks in 2021. Been on carnivore for about 6 months. Feel like I'm 20 years old again.
That's awesome,
Love
man.
it. That's amazing, Dennis. Thank you for being
great.
here. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's so motivating, man. So encouraging.
I love these great success stories. It's what keeps us all going.
Yeah.
Girl Fit Warriors is here. Love to see that. Says, since starting carnivore keto in 2020, my type 2 diabetes went away in less than 6 months. My knees stopped swelling up, and I've lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
Still a work in progress 5 years later. What an amazing story. I love that. Yeah. Rock on. See if we can get a rock on.
Can you?
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Kim Wilson is here from Facebook. I tried carnivore and my bad cholesterol went up and I gained weight. What am I doing wrong, Chris? So, Kim, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think, so this is a common thing for women especially. If you start carnivore, first of all, if your cholesterol goes up, you're very possibly a hyper responder. And that's actually okay. And Dr. Barry has a bunch of great info about cholesterol. So does Dr. David Diamond. So does Dr. Dave Feldman. All of these guys, they have great info on cholesterol that you need to go watch their videos. But also, if you gained weight, it's probably because your body has healing to do, and weight loss is not his first concern. You have to stick with it, and it will come around as it heals and as it cleans up. But sometimes you will gain weight at first on carnivore, and it's okay. If you're worried about your weight, and like especially as a woman, Nisha is a great resource. Kelly Hogan is a great resource. Dr. Elizabeth Bright is a great resource. All kinds of stuff. So you're probably not doing anything wrong. You just have to have some patience with yourself. You're doing great. Go back at it. And if carnivore doesn't work for you and keto is a better place to start and you can ease your way in, then do that.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. You're doing great, Kim. Just let us know how we can support you. John says, I'm stunned. YouTube for the first time ever gave me an appropriate ad. Keto Chow.
You're probably just telling the algorithm, hey, I like this kind of
That's
stuff.
Right.
And you're like, all right.
That's right.
Yeah.
GrillFit says, since starting carnivore in 2020, let's see, I think we already did that. I think it's on the other channel. Yeah, by the way, they're 54. How many 54-year-olds do you know that lose over 100 pounds and reverse type 2 diabetes?
That one right there.
Right,
amazing.
exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Janelle is talking to Dennis, says, sorry about your previous heart attacks, but how good you are feeling now tells you your body likes what you're doing. I love it.
Yeah.
John says, I discovered what seed oils do to me by using mayo as a dip for leftover turkey after Thanksgiving. Couldn't walk Saturday morning after eating about a cup of mayo between Thursday night and Saturday.
It's wild, man.
Yep, those seed oils will get you, man. But we don't realize that until you remove it and then you try to add it back in and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
If someone comes at you about your way of eating, but you know you are in better health and feel good, please ignore them. Yes. Love it, Jenny. Yep. Absolutely.
Preach it.
Blue Diamond Bill says, I started out very clean carnivore. After 18 months, I'll have a bite or two of sweet potato or other things, but never full servings.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love it.
Yeah.
GrillFit says, weight loss is a long journey and not a sprint. Enjoy your food along the way. Real food, real flavor, real results.
Absolutely.
I could not agree more. Fantastic. John says, been making homemade mayo ever since then. No more problems.
Yeah, I bet you did. That did it.
And that's why I have a spreadable butter mayo recipe. So if you guys like mayo, I've got a spreadable butter mayo recipe that is spreadable straight out of the fridge. Go make that and cut those seed oils out. It'll do such good things for you.
Yeah.
Jenny says, I'll have a piece of birthday cake, but just one small piece. I'm fine. I'll continue to do this and not feel guilty.
Good for you. Yeah.
Good for you. Stacy says, I ate a Quest bar the other evening, and that was far enough away from Stacy Keto that it kept me in the bathroom for hours with terrible tummy cramps.
Oh, no.
Our bodies are all so different. I agree.
It is, yeah.
Totally agree. And that's also the thing. My extra weight that I have to lose, yes, I'm going to work on that and I'm going to lose that. But not sitting in the bathroom half of my day because of irritable bowel syndrome, having the brain clarity where I'm not struggling with depression and anxiety, those things are way more important to me than what my scale says. Because that actually affects my quality of life more intentionally and acutely than having a little bit of extra weight to still lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Lacey says, I have to deal with enough negative self-talk. I don't have time to hear what other people have to say. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing. You don't need other people reinforcing the negative self-talk that we're already trying to get beyond. We don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Tracy Maddox is a new YouTube member.
Oh,
thank you, Tracy. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for jumping on the YouTube member bandwagon. We love that. CV says it's homemade when your wife makes it and homemade when your ex-girlfriend makes it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh, that's good. That's funny.
Thank you for the laugh, my friend. Thank you for the laugh.
Emily says, Jesus, pizza, poop. And if you don't like it, kiss my ass.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, man.
Emily, thank you for that.
Yeah. Emily, you're funny.
John says, nothing wrong with a salad every now and then, especially a taco salad.
John, you're reading my mind, my friend. A good taco salad.
Yes. Auntie says no one cares when you're eating crap foods, eating better, aka carnivore, keto, etc. Everyone is suddenly worried and judgy.
Yeah, funny how that works, isn't it? Yeah.
Funny. Choosing to Live One says should be 1 million subscribers. You guys are such an encouragement.
Well,
I appreciate
so
that. Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Lacey says, "Get him, Ash."
Lacey, so we're talking about this. We've been here for 3 hours, and it's like, we're talking about this, and that happens, and it's just, but I'm done.
It literally could not have been scripted better.
Yeah,
us talking about this, and then there it is.
But okay, we got someone showing up here in a little bit, guys. We got a video to film. I got emails. We have a life to live. We have people to help. I don't have time for some asshat to come in here in the comments and tell me that he thinks that what we're doing is wrong. Well, then please don't watch the channel.
Apparently, Coyote has a corner to go sit in and look in the mirror and tell himself how great he is all day. So there you go. Also, I feel like people like that have to come on here because if they treat people that way, they probably don't have friends. So they have nothing better to do, and they got to have some way of making themselves feel good. So they think that tearing down other people is the way, I guess.
Yeah, it's that saying, hurt people.
Right.
But it's like, but I also understand, like, yes, we got to love that person, even Coyote, even when he's not big. Okay, but here's the deal. You can't fix stupid sometimes. Right. So until that man gets to a point where he would like to listen and whatever, I just don't have the time for it. And you don't get to come in and rile up my community and stir up my... No.
Here's the deal. Loving somebody is not the same thing as condoning their behavior.
Yes.
And like if you act like an asshat, I'm going to tell you you're acting like an asshat, because to tell you anything else would be not true. That's not loving either.
Yeah. I'd also think if you study like very successful people that do a lot of good in the world... their schedules are pretty packed full.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I personally do not have the time with all that we're trying to do to help people, to grow the community, to create things like Carnivore biscuits and then do all of my music stuff and do all the things we're doing. I don't have the time to go onto someone else's live stream.
Yes.
That's like me showing up to a live stream where it's a bunch of people that are on a vegan diet. Now I have no issue with them. My best friend is actually a vegan. Imagine that. Yeah. But it's like, man, it's like I don't have the time though to go on someone else's live stream and tell them everything that they are doing wrong. I just don't. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm answering. So our taste tester is going to be showing up here soon. Oh. So I'm going to have them. Your number is 336.
Yeah, 336.
So I'm going to have them dial your number to get in the gate instead of mine, because we're still using my phone to finish up this live stream.
Oh, well, there you go. Awesome. But that's the thing. And there's also a difference between not basically cheating. I'm going to talk with you.
Yeah, go for it.
There's a big difference, though, guys, in cheating and not pushing yourself to be better. And then just to believe something which is a lie, which is, well, if I'm not doing it meat, salt, water, then I guess I really, keto just isn't good enough. Even if you're losing weight and you're improving. Common sense is a lost art nowadays.
It apparently
is. And I'm going to bring that back. That's my new goal for 2025.
That's right.
Make common sense a thing.
That's right. Kim says, I'm told that all of those things are going to kill them urgently.
So, Kim, listen, we hear this from so many people. So, at first, I really want to put you at ease because you're not going to die, I promise you. This is good. I think you have to realize that our healthcare and our health system right now is told that basically, here's a number. And if you're below or above that, well, then there's a problem. Well, who sets that number, Kim?
Right?
Big Pharma. So I think what I would actually suggest, Kim, just as something that's helpful. Chris and I are totally here for you. We're supporting you. Let us know what we can do to help. But we are not doctors, and we are not supposed to be giving some medical advice.
Right.
So what I would recommend is, honestly, if you don't already, go join Dr. Barry's private group.
Yes.
Or every Monday night. So this evening, I believe, is it at 6 Central? He goes
6 p.m. Central Time.
You should go to Dr. Barry's
Monday Night Live
with him and his wife Nurse Nisha. You should go. You may have to, pay for like super chat.
It's like $5 for a super chat.
Yeah.
And just because he gets so many comments, he's not going to see your comment because he gets thousands of comments, thousands of them. So pay for a super chat. Just a small one. Be very clear and very concise with what thing is you're worried about, and ask him, here's the thing that's concerning me, can you help me, and can you direct me to videos you might have?
Yes.
And then he can tell you specifically if he has thoughts and videos on his channel. And double check on his channel for videos about the things you're concerned beforehand, because you may just find all your answers anyway. He's got thousands of videos, and there's all free information there to help you with all this. And I understand the concern. I really
scary.
do. It is scary.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we're all here for you.
Yes. Please report back. We'd love to know more.
Yep. And we have a community of support people that can help support you if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. Auntie says, subtopic of each Monday motivation. Things that rile up Ash.
Yeah. Dogmatic, egotistic people.
Yep. Risa just got the delivery of Salty, the new Mondo Melon, and the reorder of Endless Summer.
Yay! Yum! Man, that new Mondo Melon is bomb.
Super good. I have a Keto Chow link
good.
You guys can use for both Keto Chow and Salty in the description box. Go use that link, and it'll put 10% off on your order. So you guys can get yourself some electrolytes and all of that stuff. Yep. Catherine says, hashtag DBAD, don't be a... LOL, I do remember Ash saying this and I just busted a gut.
You're welcome.
John says, question, didn't one of the doctors on that 4 a.m. live stream say that obesity isn't the cause of our medical issues? Yes. Dr. Kiltz.
Yep.
Obesity is not the cause. Obesity is a symptom of other health issues.
Yes.
Obesity is not what's doing all of this bad stuff. It's not necessarily good for you, but... it can be dealt with in other ways. That's not it's not the cause. Kim says, what time are you guys usually on? I love your recipes. So Monday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tuesday evenings, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Ash Wednesdays, if you like country music, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on her YouTube channel.
Has nothing to do with low carb or anything. We just pick guitars and I tell dad jokes.
But sometimes that support makes a big bunch of difference too. So
we just like to have fun. But Kim, please come back and join us.
And every now and then we jump in and we do some extra stuff. You just never know. It's a surprise.
Absolutely.
So Lacey says, in my last 3 weeks minus my oatmeal days, I've lost maybe 8 pounds. But my husband says I look like I've lost a ton, which is great. But my joints don't hurt. That's better than fitting into a size 4. And that's the deal.
Yeah.
That's the deal. You just, it's inflammation, all sorts of stuff that's better. It's great. We're going to do a lightning round and try to get done here, guys. El Mission is here. I love your channel so much. Makes me happy to find other ways to cook my carnivore meals using your fabulous techniques. Well, thank you so much. Charger Mopar says, I was accused of not being a real carnivore because I give fruit to my friends.
Oh,
How crazy is that?
Well, Rick, I think you're the most carnivore out of anybody I know, buddy. Yes. So there you go.
Jenny says, I know this is weird, but I don't weigh. I used to, but if I gained, I would just blow everything. Now I go by clothing size. Really helped me a lot.
Yeah,
and that's the deal.
Smart.
I almost never weigh.
Smart.
Unless I'm really concerned, I never weigh.
Yeah.
Because the scale will lie to you guys. El Mission, in terms of the cult carnivore, the people who claim that purchasing or acquiring only expensive items, grass-fed, raw milk, expensive salt, whatever, first worlders, bro, it's elitism. I agree.
I agree it is.
Brian says, Chris, that would be a gang and not a tribe. That's correct.
True.
That's correct, and that's why we don't do that.
Yep.
Violet says, that's evil, Rick. Why aren't you giving them ribeyes?
Yeah,
Sarcasm.
Rick. Yeah. That's funny. So great.
I love that.
Yeah.
John says, ancestrally appropriate is on Dr. Barry's list of favorite phrases. Absolutely. But see, when he does it, he's explaining anthropologically why you do it instead of judging people. And
there's a difference.
There's a difference. It's all about the heart.
Big difference, guys.
All about the heart. Christine says, always go to your recipes first because I know they come out great. Well, thank you, Christine. Kate is here. Love you both. Most people have come to carnivore to save their lives and their mental health. People that are judging if someone isn't the perfect carnivore don't understand the actual movement. I agree.
How much can I like that comment?
Yes. El Mission says elitism should be ignored. It's for the rich, not the rest of us who struggle to pay $20 for 20 eggs. It's designed to show how much better they are than us poor people. And I agree. And that's why we're not here for that crap. You guys do the best you can with what you got, and we're going to love you all along the way. When we first started realizing gluten was causing health issues, we got rid of gluten, switched to oatmeal and whole foods. It was the first step on our healing journey. And that's the thing. It's a first step. Lacey says, do you guys have a P.O. box? I'd love to make a crochet unicorn squish for you. Maybe some feedback for my inventory list. We don't have a P.O. box yet. That's very sweet. We don't have a P.O. box. We're probably going to get one eventually. But Lacey, if you just send me an email, I'll send you an address. So info@chriscookingnashville.com. Very sweet.
Very sweet of you. Please send a message. We'd love that.
Lewis, dang, I go to those strict pages and listen to everyone, then I digest and learn from their mistakes so I don't have to make them.
Oh, Lewis, I love that, bud. Love it.
El Mission Carnivore method is the way we started our species. Got knocked out because of industry. Crisco oil, 1911. After Crisco, heart disease went up, then cancer, then diabetes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Charger Mopar, I laugh at the strict carnivores as they will give up soon. You're not wrong, man.
Oh, man.
You're not wrong. Jenny says it's the water weight, I believe, that fluctuates a lot, and weighing drives me crazy. Yep, and that's exactly the deal. Mm-hmm. Mission, the elitism is carnivore is superiority complex. It's straight bullying and it's garbage.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Yes, you are so right.
My dad says, as a chef for real carnivore, how many ways can you cook a piece of meat and sprinkle salt on it? It's not much of a chef in my mind. You give so much to real people. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dad. I appreciate that.
Agreed.
Learned it from my parents. Sandra is here, says, you guys are incredible. You're my mentors, and I want to help people just like you are. Don't ever stop.
Aw,
well, thank you so much, Sandra.
So
we appreciate that, and I want you to go help people just as much as we try to. I love that. John says, you may not be a big deal, but your recipes are.
I think that's hilarious.
Oh, that's good. Charger Mopar says, real carnivores welcome others, even vegans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How much can I like that comment? Rick, you're so right, man.
Yep. El Mission wants to know if we ever start the live streams with a song. I'd like that. We don't.
Yeah.
But we do music on her channel every Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
Yes, come join us. We'll play you all the songs.
Shantae is here.
Hi, Shantae.
Says, no, you guys are probably helping a lot more people than you know. I hope so. We're trying.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we're here. That's why we literally started the channel.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
First thing I tell people is I'm not the keto police, but I'm glad to share what I know and what works for me. And that's
I love
the deal.
That.
That's amazing.
Great. Yeah.
Renata found our channel through Ketogenic Woman. Amazing.
We love that. Thank you.
Let's see, a lot of people just talking about a bunch of different stuff. GrillFit says, I started by watching Food Incorporated Genetic Roulette and GMO OMG and had my eyes opened up about what has been done to our food. After that, I made major changes and switched to real food. Love it. I love this file. It says, they will never take my hot bean water from me. Love it. Love it.
That's fun.
Auntie says, I often wonder if these true carnivores are not doing as strict as they say and are projecting their own failures onto us, at least some of them. I think some of them are.
Some of them are, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Choosing to Live One says, Bill Knott used a vibration plate and it really helped him. My husband got one after watching Bill Knott and it relieves his hip pain. That's cool.
That's good to know. Very cool, guys.
Blue Diamond Bill says, watch many of your videos. First time to catch you live. Glad I found this. Well, man, I'm glad you did, brother. We're here every Monday morning, and every Tuesday night. Come hang out with us. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, we love when y'all tune in. So good.
Stacy and Ken have a vibration plate.
Sweet.
John says, I have severe lymphoma, and the vibration plate was under $80 with a 440-pound weight limit. That's cool. That's great, man. Linda Barrows is here. I have a vibration plate, bought in November. Just love it. Helps with my lymphatic system and with my hand tingling at night. That's cool.
Yeah.
Shantae says, in egg white powder, what is BCAAs and does sunflower lecithin in the powder mess up the recipe? So BCAA is some kind of amino acid, and I don't understand exactly what that is because I'm not much of a scientist. I don't really worry about it too awful much. I just try to get stuff that the ingredient list says egg whites. And that's it. Sunflower lecithin will mess up the recipe sometimes if you have to whip it. Now, like my noodles, you don't have to whip it. Works fine. But if you're doing something like my egg white bread where you whip it, the sunflower lecithin is a problem. Okay. Everybody talking about the egg white powder, the hand tingling. Tracy says, greetings from Idaho. I've been a fan of you two for quite a while. Ash, I have to say you were so blessed to have Chris cooking all his great food. I wish I could clone him.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Very, very sweet. Thank you, Tracy. And thank you for joining, as we said.
We appreciate it.
Lacey says, please not that song.
Biscuit song.
Shantae says, dang, I guess I won't be able to use these egg powder in the biscuit. Actually, my biscuit is not whipped. So, yes, you will be able to use it. It'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Blue Diamond Bill says, oh, have I missed a good biscuit? Blue Diamond Bill, I mean this is the biggest compliment I can. You look like a brother who knows a biscuit.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. I love it.
And if that means that we're our kind of people. Because you know who loves biscuits? This girl right here. Yep. Yes. Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you what, man, they are good.
They're
good. So good.
They are good.
It's like my favorite thing he's ever made. I think it will become eventually more popular than carnivore mashed potatoes.
Maybe.
I really do.
Maybe
I have
someday.
faith in so good.
See, Delisle, love listening to you both. Always great information. Mostly carnivore with ketovore on occasion. I never really liked veggies and thought I had to learn to like them years ago.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Right there with you. Let's see. I'm trying to pick just ones we really need to talk about because we got a taste tester going to be showing up here probably any minute.
Yeah.
Violet says, you've definitely auto-played while I've slept many times. Glad it helps.
We appreciate that,
Yes,
Violet. Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's Janelle. BCAA benefits. A review of branched-chain amino acids.
Yeah.
There we go. Auntie says, I learned that almonds really affected me with inflammation. When I stopped using almonds and almond flour, almost all the arthritis in my hands was gone. No more braces on thumbs and wrists. Amazing.
Really cool.
Shantae says the brand is Now Sports, and it says egg white protein with BCAAs. Did they add some in? Maybe a little bit, but honestly, those probably are not a huge concern. I mean, that's up to you, but they shouldn't cause any issue with the actual recipes. So, Tracy says, did carnivore 6 months, lost 40 pounds, life hit, stress set in, gained back when I went back to SAD, starting back, just listening to my body, eating more keto, feel great now. And that's
Good
great.
for you, Tracy. Awesome.
We went back off the rails, too. You're not alone. It's okay.
They actually say that's actually part of the healing process. So good for you, and we're here to encourage you and support you however we can.
Absolutely. Lacey says she uses it in lots of recipes with no issue.
Great.
As long as the powder doesn't have to be whipped, it can still be used if your system can handle it. Absolutely. Tracy says, God told me this time, just listen to your body and don't be a slave to the scale. My body knows what it needs. Amen. And if you clean up your diet, your brain can think clearly enough for you to know what you need.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says, thanks, Chris. Approximately 95% carnivore right now for his wife. She's had RA for 20 years, has a lot of damage. Her inflammation is going down little by little. We know it will take time. Good. You're doing the right thing, man. You guys just keep at it. Let us know how we can support you. John says, we eat a lot of high oxalate food. Our bodies store it all over. After eliminating it from our diet, our bodies dump it for elimination. This can cause renewed inflammation and other issues. Absolutely. Absolutely. Choosing to live one. Thank you for putting yourselves out there and taking verbal abuse from jerks and not letting them silence you.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. That's why we're here. Grill Fit. I'm sorry you guys have to put up with guys like Coyote. He probably likes to go to the chemo clinics and make fun of cancer patients too. What a jerk.
You're probably not wrong, but yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Cheryl says, love how you handle the naysayers. We are all on our own journey. It's not for anyone to judge. Enjoy your weekly videos. Carry on. Yes. Jeff says, be glad you're not going through it, but plants contain oxalates that when we stop eating plants, our bodies eventually gets rid of them, often by erupting out of skin or lacrimal ducts, etc. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Sally Norton is a great resource here on YouTube. Y'all should go watch some of her videos to learn more about oxalate dumping.
Yes. CB says, all due respect, Coyote Inc. just wishes he had a beautiful wife such as that.
Aw, thank you, CB. Very sweet. Very, very sweet. He probably doesn't even have a girlfriend, which is probably why he has all the time to
I don't think you
come
can
on
treat
channels.
people like that and have someone be interested in procreating with you.
Probably so.
I'm just
Probably
saying.
so.
John says, I occasionally have people say things like that to me when I try to help newbies. Yeah, I'm still fat, but I'm down 150 pounds.
Yeah.
And it takes time to undo damage from almost 50 years of SAD. Good gracious.
People just don't know your story. It's really,
Yes.
really what it is.
Yes, absolutely. Choosing to Live One says, thanks for booting Coyote. Yeah, I see there's other messages that were removed. So obviously they just kept at it. So I'm really glad that they're gone.
I'm glad this guy, because we've been here for 3 hours and 15 minutes helping people and sharing information. I'm glad that he has all that time to sit here and just, try to argue and whatnot. He sounds like a really important guy.
Right. He's sitting there doing nothing with his life. We're sitting here working, trying to help people.
Yeah.
Like, this is our job. So why he's here, I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
El Mission says, I did not go carnivore for weight loss. I wanted to avoid type 2. Got 2 years straight of pre-diabetes diagnosis. Didn't want a third. Then I found Dr. Chafee's talk and started. That's great. That is fantastic. So good. Has anyone tried to make the noodles with ground turkey? I'm about to try it about an hour, first time doing noodles, and I'll be using that egg white with BCAA, so we will see. Yeah, I've heard people using the turkey, and go for it. And that egg white powder should work just fine. Grill Fit wants to know what meat stock is. I think we answered that.
I think we did. If not,
if not, just
go to
go
chriscookingnashville.com. So go to Chris's website. I actually have a thing up there where you can click it, and it will tell you all about meat stock, tickets, options, all this stuff. And I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself.
Yeah, you go ahead.
And
I'm going to get these last comments.
Yes.
But and then I'll come down and find you.
I love y'all. Y'all are great.
Yes.
You guys have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you tomorrow night. You're wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, bye everybody.
Okay. Let's see. Kelly, I am sorry that person was mean to you. I appreciate you both. You are a beautiful couple and enjoy listening to you both. Kelly, thank you so much. Here's the deal. You guys don't have to apologize for mean people. I deal with them every day. But it's important to me to show you what is out there so that you realize you're not alone if you experience this. It's okay. And yeah, thumbs up. It's okay. We're all going to be all right. And when we deal with mean people who have nothing better to do, we can stand up against them and say, no, shut up. It's all right. You can have the confidence in yourself to tell people like that to take a hike. It's okay. John, I don't think I've had that problem yet. I hear they're stored in body fat, which I still have quite a bit to get rid of. Yeah, and you may experience more of that with the oxalates, I think is what you're talking about. So, let's see. And Janelle is right. I did use turkey once. It was okay. I prefer chicken, but if you got turkey and you like turkey, go for it. And yes, it is a great way to use the powder with the lecithin. Now, if you're using pre-ground meat, there's some spongy stuff in there, so the texture of pre-ground meat's not quite as good, but it is still good. So you should thoroughly enjoy that. And Stacy and Ken are going to Meat Stock. Awesome. It's going to be so good to see you guys there. And let's see. Blue Diamond Bill. Where is Meat Stock taking place? It is in Gatlinburg. It's going to be a lot of fun over there. Lacey, that coyote person is just a troll. Most people know to investigate at least a little before opening their mouth. Yeah, most people do, but some people don't, unfortunately. So, yeah. Blue Diamond Bill, where can we hear Ash's music? Guys, you can go to Ash Taylor, ASHTAYLOR, ashtaylor.com, and she has all of her social media links there. She's on Spotify, she's on Apple Music, she's everywhere music is streamed and sold. You guys can find all of her links on her website, ashtaylor.com. And if you'd like to support what she's doing, she also has a fan club called the Bad Ashes that you can join and see extra behind-the-scenes stuff. So, really, really cool. And there's Janelle with the link. Meat Stock is in Gatlinburg. John, keto or non-keto guests? So this is a keto carnivore guest, but someone who's never had any of my stuff, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Terry from My Terrific Life, I believe, is her channel name. I will make sure when we film the video to put her channel in the description for you guys, because she has a channel, and she seems like an awesome lady. We're very much looking forward to her being here, so... Tracy, is Meat Stock 2025 in Australia? How do you find out about these conferences? It's not in Australia. It is a conference here in Tennessee. So, honestly, Tracy, the best thing to do is watch for your favorite influencers talking about the ones they're going to. You can also go to lowcarbevents.com and you can find meetups and different things. If anybody else knows other ways to find it, please put that down in the chat so that she can find that. So... Choosing to Live says, I will never call myself carnivore because it is so confusing to people. I eat spices and an occasional onion or mushroom, and I eat spices. Labels have caused too much confusion for new people. I agree. And Lacey says, meat-based is the best if you don't want to hear people's BS opinions. I agree. The only reason I even use the term carnivore is because of the search element of YouTube. I get a lot more people that find my stuff by using the words carnivore because it just makes them pay attention. I wish that I didn't have to do that, but if people can't find my channel and they can't find my recipes, I can't help anybody, but I would love if I could just say meat-based, and maybe someday if my channel is big enough that I don't have to worry about that, maybe that's what I'll do, so... But you guys sharing and liking the videos, that helps me out a lot. So that's how we get the word out. Auntie, traveling yesterday took a lot out of me, but yay for eating well that day. Me and my back only had to get up once on the plane for the restroom. Removing and replacing back brace. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you're able to be back and be done traveling. But it seems like you must be doing really good, Auntie, so... Janny, my family finally accepts how I eat, but for most, I just say I don't eat carbs. I try not to label myself. Excellent. And we're going to wrap up here in just a minute, guys. John, it's crazy how much high-carb diets messes with your mental health. Yeah, for me, for sure. Jamie is here. Y'all are awesome. Please keep doing what y'all are doing. Thank you, Jamie. And Auntie, why do we let strangers have an opinion in our life? Not worth it. Don't let them rent space in your mind. Absolutely. And Claire is here, says, just join the band. Well, thank you, Claire. I'm so glad. We're going to be so happy to have you in there with us. John says, DST is actually the artificially adjusted time. The time during winter is the actual solar time that God created. Cool. I was never sure which one was the actual time and which one was our adjusted time. Jeanette is here, says, glad you put this video up. I love your recipes. However, don't lose on them as it's too much dairy. Picking and choosing out of what you create. Congrats on your weight loss, this channel, etc. Thank you. And that's the deal. You find what works for you and you customize it, which is the best thing you can do. Nighthawk says, I contacted Nowco. They never contacted me back to answer if their product has anything but egg whites. Plus, on their website, they don't list that part of the label. Label on our order was smudged out. Yeah, Nighthawk, unfortunately, it's kind of hard. Depends on which batch it comes from because it's a newer update. And if you look on Amazon and you see the picture of the label, it shows that it's not just egg whites, that they have sunflower lecithin, but they don't talk about it. So it is why we have to be so careful with this stuff. So, Tracy, do they ever do meetups on the West Coast? Yeah, sometimes there are things out there, and if you can't find one, you can start one, but there is a bunch of stuff out there. So lowcarbevents.com, I believe, is where you can find that. That would be really good. Surprised I was able to have one taste of my cheese sauce and one taste of my meat mixture while cooking yesterday during my fasting window. I was afraid to do that before. Good for you. You're doing great. It will keep continuing to change and evolve, and your journey will continue, and you're doing fantastic. So thank you for being here. Marijo, I think I'm pronouncing that right, but if I'm not, I apologize. I'm a redneck. Hi, you guys. Going to subscriber since last April. I'm 80 years old. I've lost 70 pounds since April. Last diagnosed with fatty liver disease that has gone away. That is amazing. Rock on, and good for you. We are so glad you are here, and thank you for subscribing. Shantae says, I find sugar also dries out your eyes and skin. Yes, things that it does to your hormones can really mess that up. Drew says, I just gave my dog a piece of banana and realized she's not 100% carnivore either. Yes, isn't that funny how it's like the world didn't end because of that? John says, eat some sad. The consequences with remind you of your why real fast. Absolutely. And your tastes change drastically after a few months keto, carnivore. That they do. And Tracy says, Ash, you are one blessed woman. I'm sure many of us would love to have a chef like Chris in our homes. God bless you both. Love to follow you and your recipes. Tracy, we love you. Thank you so much. Nighthawk, I really love this group. Y'all are my inspiration fix. Nighthawk, we love you being here. Thank you so, so much. Hillbilly Hermit says, Laura Spath. Yes, that's another great resource. Laura Spath has really cool stuff on her channel. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. Just answering a... Just answering a comment. Our taste tester is here and is trying to find our address. So we're going to wrap this up here in just a second. See if there's any questions or anything I missed. Thank you guys for your patience today, for hanging out with us so long. This is our longest Monday Morning Live ever. Here's a brand new name I haven't seen. King's Throne. I just heard about a long-term study of 500,000 people which concluded that butter is bad and seed oil is good for your health. I smell fishy science. Any thoughts? Yes. I would say who funded the study and how did they actually compare that? Because a lot of times it's association, not actually looking for causation. Usually those studies are tough to to really understand sometimes. So yeah, there's no real good evidence. Dolores says, tried your new carnivore pizza crust. I've got to say it is the first crust that I have had in my 5-year journey on keto that I actually liked. Love your recipes. Carry on. Thank you, Dolores. I'm so glad. Holy Carnivore says, as far as I know, there ain't no book in the Bible called One Carnivore. Carnivore, ketovore, keto. I think we all need to be authentically us with our diets and find what works for us. I agree, and thank you for being here, Holy Carnivore. I love that name. Let's see. Chris, it's also important for us to show our support as well. It goes both ways, brother. Well, thank you, Lacey. I appreciate that. And you're right, it does. We're all here for each other. John says, hurt people. Look forward to the day we all see speculating on the motives, thoughts, actions of others and treat them with the same mercy that we treat all the other hurt people. Amen. Amen. Nighthawk says, thank you both for a great live stream. Hope everyone has a fantastic week. John says, very fishy study. We're talking gas station sushi sus there. I agree. And Shantae says, thanks for the great live and info. Guys, our taste tester is here. We're going to go film a great video. You guys keep an eye out because not this Saturday, but next Saturday, that'll be coming out. This Saturday is the biscuits, and you guys, I'm telling you, you're going to love these things when they come out Saturday. So thank you guys for being here. I love every single one of you. Thank you for your support. We cannot do this without you. Don't forget the private community link down below for more support just like this, and we are here for you guys whatever way we can be. Thank you for watching. This is Chris Cook in Nashville. My beautiful wife, Ash Taylor, is downstairs. You guys eat your meat, love your life. We'll see you in the kitchen for more recipes, here in the studio, all kinds of places, and you guys rock on. We'll talk to y'all very soon.